work on a roof, you fall off and you crush your fucking heel, right? It's all shattered. The doctor 10, 15 years ago was like, that's fucked up, that really hurts. You're gonna need some opioids to kill that pain. And then the DEA says, no, you can't have those anymore. These doctors have to tighten up their prescriptions. And now you don't have any, you can't afford them. What do? You can take Kratom. It has the same effects, it's less addictive, and it's more gross. So that even brings down the use. You're not gonna use it as much. Kratom kills the pain in your body. It also cures social anxiety.
The government's solution to stuff like this is always prohibition, which means putting more people in jail.
How big is your appetite for the war on drugs? I'm sure it's small. It's shrinking every single day. Don't let them continue it. Don't let them outlaw more stuff.
Good point.
Thank you. Polite about
it's just
it.
not the polite way to have sex.
That's just really one way to have sex that's polite, and it's to say, ma'am, or sir, or non-binary person, would you like to enjoy some making love with me? And then if they answer yes, then you mount that person and you move back and forth politely, and then you kind of finish it up and you say, that was great, and then you never mention it again. That's the right way to have sex, okay?
And folks, and that's why we don't do any sort of sex advice or sex stuff on this show, because there's none to be given.
I am wise!
I want you to write the polite sex book, like the proper polite method.
I just said it. How many times have you gone into work and then looked at your boss and said, what are they doing? You ever think about the levels at a job, Brett? Of course, the people on the very bottom. What do?
Usually clean.
Yeah, and then there is the people just above them. They're the ones that do the second hardest job at the place, right?
Deal with customers?
Yeah, that sort of thing. And then there's another level above that, and that's the manager that's in the
Maybe I should.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Street Fight Radio. We're here taking your calls. It's Sunday night, time for a street fight. That number to dial is 614-655-3887. You can watch and chat along with us on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. That's the one that shows up on the stream. That's where all the people are at while we're recording. So come join, come hang with the gang. There's already people in there getting rowdy. We are Street Fight Radio, the #1 anarcho-comedy radio show on any station across the nation. We've been doing it for 9 years here out of Columbus, Ohio. My name is Brett Payne. My co-host is Brian Quimby. And every single week, 2 times a week, we do a show. Wednesday night, that's the Basement Street Fight. We're down here getting into it, whether it comes to Facebook groups or international issues. It's Brian and I talking to each other and laughing and having a good time like we've done forever. Sunday night, that's tonight, right now, this is the call-in show. So we have the lines open from 9 p.m. to midnight Eastern time every single Sunday. That number, once again, is 614-655-3887. It does not change, so you will be able to call in. Right now, we have some room in the queue, so you can get in there. Otherwise, we'll be back, and we appreciate all y'all that are in here. So let's get this thing started.
Hey,
how's it going, Brian?
I'm dying. July is what I'm deeming hell month, I think. You think you live on a hell world. I am living the hell lifestyle.
Brian, for those of you that haven't kept up, maybe this is your first episode, he has been going through hell for the whole month.
Do you think it's because I'm evil now?
You might have.
Because like I'm way into evil music and like evil stuff, and now all of a sudden like all this bad stuff's happening to me when I got evil pilled.
Dave Mustaine says he wishes he never opened up that Pandora's box when it comes to the dark arts. When you start playing around with the devil's tools, man, it bites you back.
Typo Negative. I'm listening to Typo Negative, and now all of a sudden everything bad that could ever happen to me happens to me.
Right.
I'm gonna recap here. I got injured a few weeks ago. That's healing.
We went on vacation July 4th. The few days after July 4th, we went on vacation to Smoky Mountains in Tennessee.
And I fell off of a 5.5 foot tall wall.
Yes.
Straight onto concrete. Tripped also. It was because man, I keep thinking if I had just stepped off the edge, I probably would have landed on my feet. It would have hurt a little bit my ankle, but I would have been fine.
It would have been like one of those hard steps.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, oh, all of a sudden all your weight goes on one foot.
But I tripped over a thing and then off the wall, that's not a way you want to fall at all. They would teach you not to fall that way.
Yeah,
if you were a
basically
stuntman.
like a shoestring tackle off of a ledge.
Yeah, and
You were covered in lesions and abrasions.
I did. I had abrasions all over me. They're healed.
Lacerations.
They finally healed up, but on the way out there, my car started acting up.
Yeah.
In a way that concerned me.
Yeah, this baby's about to shit the bed.
Was not going up hills well, and things like that. Which is like here's the thing, it was really struggling even to get up hills. It was not getting up to speed on the freeway. It wasn't shifting gears right. So I took it to Tuffy, which is an auto mechanics place. Mm-hmm. Renowned chain.
Not to be trusted. I wouldn't trust them.
Why? They fixed well, no, they didn't. They charged me a bunch of money and never fixed my old car and just said, hey, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Basically what they told me.
Chains are we don't really work on cars here. We just we sell overpriced parts for certain situations.
He did. I do remember I had this Grand Am and it kept stalling at lights, right? I took it to this Tuffy 4 times, and every time they gave it to me, it would stall again when I got it out. And basically the whole thing, the guy would just be like, shit happens. It wasn't that. Let's try something else.
Well, they're only allowed to do a certain thing, too.
Yeah. So I took it to the dealership after 5 tries, spending $200. So after about $1,000, I did that. And they told me my engine mounts were rusted and they needed replaced, and it was going to cost another $1,000. And that happened. The car ran right for a while, but it was a Grand Am. Everything broke on it.
Yeah.
Ended up getting a new car. That day, in 2009, I got a 2009 Chevy Cobalt. And I said...
A brand new one?
A brand new 2009. In 2009.
Wow.
And I said, I will never get an old car again. Never. I don't care what the payment is. I don't care if the payment is the same amount as my rent.
Yeah.
I'm
but
only getting a car
downsize.
payment.
Downsize.
Yeah. It's just I hate breaking down ass cars.
Yeah.
So for years, for 8 years, I only drove new cars. Okay? And never had a problem. And then I had to go car shopping because I had a lease run out.
Yeah.
And I decided to get a certified pre-owned Kia Soul. But it was certified pre-owned. And I figured that certification meant something. You know?
They gave it a good look-see. You guys flip this over and just look at the belly and stuff?
They did not give it a good look-see. And now it's breaking down. And I took it to the dealership and they said, you know what? I think it's your transmission. Now, my theory is that they thought it was my transmission because I said I think it's my transmission, which is I'm not the guy you ask. You know?
You kind of got taken down by toxic masculinity.
Right. If
they thought you were a guy, so they were like, he knows, man. This guy looks like he knows. And it's like, he doesn't know.
The thing is,
Talk
if
to
I
him.
did know, I'd fix it my fucking self.
Right.
Dude, all the info's out there. I'd fix it.
They need to ask some questions. They just need to ask some sort of specific question that you either know or you don't if you work on cars. Right. Like, well, what'd you do with the, I don't even know. I don't work on cars. That's why they could stump me. If they asked me anything about it besides, I think the transmission's fucked up, they'd be like, well, what about the lifters? I'm like, I don't fucking know what you're talking about.
I said it's shifting wrong. So they immediately said, when does it go wrong? And I was like, highway speeds. The guy clarifies with me, highway speeds? And I'm like, yeah. I thought he went and drove the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Okay? That's what I thought.
Doesn't that seem like, shouldn't that be a requirement? I don't want to add more regulations, but I think there should be a verified, they should be able to hand you a video that shows they drove your fucking car.
Yeah, exactly. Before.
Some sort of evidence that they know what the fuck you're talking about.
Because they did drive it after. So then they called me and they said, we're going to switch your transmission. They gave me a financing plan, but we decided to pay it all out of $2,200 about. And
a street fight loan.
Yeah. So me and Brett, we go up there together, so he can pay for it with the business money. And as we're walking out, the guy stops me. Like they let us swipe the card.
Oh yeah. They took our money immediately. Yeah. They're like, Mr. Quinby, right over here to the cashier station. And I swiped the card. But then when we got outside, it was a different story.
It was a new story. He pulled his phone out and said, let me show you something.
Yes.
Which, listen, don't show me nothing.
Right.
What do I fucking know about anything?
You got slick Joed.
I don't know. And you know what? I'm standing there believing the guy. I'm standing there feeling this guy like, well, it's nice. Because he pulled a trick. He pulled an employee trick, which I used to also pull too. He said, hey, I'm not allowed to tell you this. I could get in big trouble for telling you this, but I'm going to tell you this.
Yeah, exactly.
He showed me a picture of what he said was my catalytic converter, and he said, you see those little specks? And I said, yes. He said, that's clogged. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, yeah, he tested the car. He said, something's not right. But we changed that transmission. So there you go. Hand me the keys. I went out, I started the car, pulled out on the street, and it was doing the exact same thing it did when I dropped the fucking car off. And I just texted Brett as soon as I pulled out and said, it's not fixed, LOL. And it was just like so defeating. You know
what's funny though is that I was a huge nerd in that I called the credit card company earlier in the day and I was like, hey, I'm about to do a charge for $2,000. I just want to make sure there's going to be fraud or security like alerts or anything. And the woman was like, are you trying to make the charge right now, sir? And I was like, no, I'm going to do it later today. Is there a way to notify? And she was like, I can't do anything unless you're making the transaction, sir. And she treated me like an asshole.
Yeah.
And then and I only did that because I have had my card declined in Virginia Beach, in fucking Annapolis, Maryland, Michigan, Indianapolis. I've been stranded in several states with a card that all of a sudden don't swipe.
They turn it off. Yeah.
All of a sudden you can't get in and the fucking customer service is closed down. I've done all that shit. And so I called and I was like, this was my first big boy transaction. I've never done this I've never been able to hand a card to somebody and have them pay that. And I like, the guy tells Brian, what's going on. I say, all right, I'm out of here. I got to go. And I'm at a fucking stoplight and I look and see the message from you that says it's still broken, LOL. And I'm like, what the? It's not fucking funny. God damn.
I mean, it is funny when you're in the car.
Yeah, you have to.
And you pull out and the gears grind.
I mean, what do you do? I mean, burn the place down? There's no way to get satisfaction from them at that point.
So I just drove the fucking thing home. I drove it home. I parked it behind my house. And I was like, I'm not fucking dealing with this. Just let's not think about this right now.
Sure.
For Friday night, we're not going to think about this. Saturday, we're not going to think about this. And then Sunday or Monday, I'm going to start devoting mind energy to it.
Yeah.
Again.
You're going to finally make a decision about it.
A little bit of mind energy.
Let some of the panic die down.
Yeah, I got a text on Saturday as I left my house that said, hey, how did we treat you? Leave a review at this link. So I clicked the fucking link, and you know where the link took me? Facebook.
Wow.
Which is like, as soon as it took me there, I was like, all right, get your writing skills together because this is the place.
Yeah.
It's
time to Time to get that stack haircut.
If somebody
Karen. Time to go Karen on their
if
asses.
somebody's gonna check reviews, they're probably gonna go to Facebook.
Facebook
You know,
is...
and if the dealership is linking you to Facebook, they obviously think that's the most important place.
Exactly. And this is also one of those awful things where the management is like, Facebook, everybody's on it. It's the new digital Main Street. It's important. And like they are so interested in it, and you can leave the stupid review that most people won't see. There's probably 10 other guys like you that just left Kia this week doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But this is your chance, and this is, like you said, seems important to them.
Yeah, I don't know why either. I don't. I can read you guys the review I sent. Let me.
Give them a 1-star.
It doesn't do that.
You don't know star system? It's
It
just
gives
review.
you up or down, yes or no. You know what I mean?
Oh, they got okay.
And here's me. Did they delete me? I wonder. Kaneek, Michael.
Just so everybody can know, Ryan in the chat verifies that they've only ever heard that Kia dealerships are absolute horror shows. So
It felt like a horror show. I will agree. Oh yeah, they took my review off.
they
I think.
blocked it.
I guess it's not there. But so anyway, I told them like,
You just filled out.
yeah, I just was kind of like, no, I wouldn't recommend this place, and here's why. And I told the story I just told, and they messaged me immediately on Facebook Messenger, which
yeah.
I was about to delete the other day, but just still have on my phone for no reason. And I said, they asked me, hey, we're sorry you had a bad experience. Please let us know how we can improve. So I said, it just feels like they didn't know the problem and replaced the transmission because I said it wasn't shifting correctly, but it was actually the dirty catalytic converter or something else. And I tossed $2,000 in a hole and the car still isn't shifting correctly and the transmission is still grinding. I was told before I took the car home that the catalytic converter was clogged and it would be another $2,000 to fix. And when I pulled out, the car wasn't shifting properly and the transmission was grinding. I'm in the same place I was when I dropped it off, but with $2,000 less in my bank account. I'm not a person that can afford to just pay $2,000 to have someone try something out. If they didn't know what the problem was, I would have understood and took it somewhere else. Is what I said.
That's fair.
And
I'd love for more places just be like, we don't want to fucking do this. You know, honestly,
know.
that looks like a hell. That sounds like you got a curse or a hex on your car. You need to talk to somebody else.
Yeah, they said. I mean, just being like, I don't know. Fine.
Yeah.
You don't know. I'll take it somewhere else.
Or the one thing also where they're just like, let's just tell them it's only going to be $2,000 when they don't want to tell you it's going to be $10,000 or whatever the fuck. Like, actually, you should just buy a new car.
Yeah, they should have just. Yeah, that could have
They
also
should've
been
just
the
had-
move. They could have shuffled me off to the sales department.
Salesperson could have called you. Hi, I'm Glenn. You know, we have a trade-in offer that's just absolutely spectacular. It's the best I've seen since I've been with Kia for 6 years now.
Well, I have 2 calls from a car dealership today that I gave my phone number to. They're calling 2 to 3 times a day. So
I would do it. Ask him how much a trade in without a transmission, because we got to put that thing on Facebook Marketplace. We got to get some of that money back.
we're gonna get some of that money back. I think we'll get some of that money back. The only issue is like I don't want to get anybody in trouble. So I'm definitely not gonna tell them about the guy saying,
This is how you illegally get it fixed.
yes,
Or
I'm not going to do any of that stuff. And I'm not, because that's what an asshole does.
Right.
It's like, oh, and then he pulled me aside and said this and this and this. And
Right.
it's like,
doesn't matter.
don't do that.
He's doing what he's supposed to. He's doing the directive from the top, which is like, this is probably that's their daily thing. It's not his.
He's doing customer service. is what
Yeah,
he's doing.
exactly.
That's real customer
He's
service.
doing real customer service.
Yeah.
Like you just dropped a lot of money. You don't look like you have very much because some other guy just paid for you right now.
Yeah.
You gonna need a lot more money, but there's cheaper ways to get this done than the dealership.
Yeah. So I that happened. So then what happens after this is the real move here. Okay. So yesterday I'm out doing my walk, 60,000 steps yesterday. I get this itchy stuff going on. I'm itchy. On my waist area,
Okay.
right? And my neck, where I'm very fat. And I thought it was heat rash.
Okay.
Fairly certain it was heat rash. So I was like, well, I just, you know,
Yeah, that happens.
you just lay.
Sometimes you're like a fucking toddler and you get heat rash out of nowhere.
You just have to lay in that. I looked it up on the internet. They were like, just lay in the house.
Is
you
it a
know?
real thing?
It is. You get it. I mean, if you're a fat boy like me, if you got like a fold, if you got like that's what it is. It's like extra skin folds, and
Got
then
it.
the pores are clogged up, and then you get a rash.
Got it.
But this rash just spread like wildfire, like crazy. It turns out I'm fairly certain it's the soap I'm using.
Okay.
And the way I figured that out is like I don't wash the bottoms of my legs. I wash my feet, but I don't wash the bottoms of my legs. I
Like
just wash
shins
the
and
top.
calves?
Yeah.
What
I
about
it's just-
knees?
There's nothing going on there at all. Nothing.
I'm glad you do the feet because those have real gross shit on them.
Well, yeah, the feet. I mean, here's what I wash. Okay, I rub it all over my tongue.
Okay.
You know, I don't wash my back. I don't know how.
You
I've
can't
never
get it?
even thought about washing my back. Never once in my life. I figure the water gets on it, it's fine. There's nothing back there. You know, what do I do? What am I doing? Laying in dirt? You know?
Yeah.
What would get on my back? So I wash the whole front. I spend extra time on the beans area.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Which was the area that was
got
issues yesterday.
lots
you
of
know?
rashes.
I know this is very gross. I'm sorry. I apologize. So I did the worst thing you can do as a person last night. Yeah, get ready. This is sick. I slept naked last
Oh, that's
night.
fine.
No, disgusting. I felt like I woke up every like hour and pulled my pants up, like
Just to have it.
yeah, because I
Just to
had
feel covered up a
What I
little
did
bit?
was I slept like all the way naked, except for I had my pants around one ankle, just
like
in case anything happened. I could just
Right, you're halfway there.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll never be all the way naked. It just ain't gonna happen.
One ankle in.
One ankle in my shorts. So it didn't clear up, and then I started to notice it's on all the spots that I do heavy washing on.
Right.
So if I am a little slow tonight or anything, it's because I'm heavy on Benadryl right now.
5 Benadryl deep.
Yeah, I'm 5 Benadryl deep. I'm trying to kill this thing. I went home and took a shower with Pure Castile soap by Dr. Bronner, the anti-war on drugs company that I've been using for years. And Brett thinks it's absolutely mind-blowing and fascinating that it happened to me with Dove soap.
Yeah.
Because it's gentle, I guess.
Well, I thought Dove was what they wash the baby ducks in, but that's Dawn.
Yeah, that's Dawn.
But Dove is great chocolate and great soaps.
It is.
It feels
a
like
top
holding
company.
a cup of milk in your hand, like when you're washing with it.
It's a top brand, and it makes me feel terrible that I got a rash from Dove.
Yeah, you're
Because
you're
it's
not
like-
tough enough for Dove.
I thought I was a tough guy,
No.
and then we get this Dove in there, and it's like, what?
Yeah, I mean, men
What are they
can't
putting
hear
in there?
men can't handle the serious cleaning power that women have to subject themselves to for us.
What are they putting in Dove? What are they putting in there?
Maybe fragrances or something, or is it?
I use lavender in my Dr. Bronner's. That's a fragrance.
Yeah, that's Natch though. That's not like
Right.
Dove smells like some sort of experimental idea of what peace smells like. They went to a chemist in a laboratory and were like, "Make peace for us," and they're like,
Yeah.
"All right, I think I can do that."
Yeah. What a fucking. Who would have thought that,
It's also good on
and then-
coochies, and that's that's a good test ground for soaps.
Yeah. Well, I just cleaned up down that. So now.
Because
In-
the Castile soap doesn't work on innies, is what I heard.
Oh, it works great on mine.
On Audis. Right.
Also my hole, which
Oh.
is also very clean anyway, because bidet, you know. But
Yeah.
anyway, so this month I've hurt myself and bled. My car is broken down, which since 2009 has been something I've never had to think about, and is unfair that I have to think about it now because
Yeah.
I'm successful and I shouldn't have to think about my car. And worst of all these things, I slept naked one night.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's embarrassing.
Sick as shit right there. I was like telling my wife all my trials and tribulations this morning, and then I went up and I walked all the way across the room and got right next to her and was like, I slept naked for a little bit. like last night. And she was like, "It's okay."
On your like, do you sleep with like your pale white ass in the air? Are you stomach or back?
No, I was really far away from her.
Okay.
I like really rolled away because I didn't want her to like roll over and be like, "What's this fucking pervert doing over here?" You know?
I don't know at all, man. I rock and roll naked in bed all the time, man.
I haven't been-
halfway there.
I haven't been naked in bed since the 90s.
What?
Yeah, I don't do. Well, I mean, I have been in like short spans of time for like activities.
But you keep something around your ankle.
I always have like a little thing going on around
Just
my
something
ankle,
around
just by
the
my
ankle.
foot.
Yeah.
You know, I don't
Just-
ever want to be stuck outside naked. You
Yeah.
ever think about that when you're naked? You know?
Yeah, I think it'd be funny. I think you get over it so quick, and then it would just be fucking hilarious.
No, it wouldn't be funny for even 1 minute.
You're like, my house is on fire, and everybody can see me fucking naked. So I'm having an amazing day right now. You would go into shock. You'd probably be fucking high, dude.
I would probably
Set your house on fire, run outside naked. Great feeling.
I'd probably just end up dying in a fire trying to put my pants on.
You're like, let me get those. Get third-degree burns all over your body.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the most terrifying thought to me is that like anything could happen. Like people are always like, what if a home invasion happens? And I'm like, what if a home invasion happens when you're naked and you gotta like do something about it naked? And it's like, you gotta be ready, you know?
Oh, shit.
I don't have a gun. That's not for me. I just don't want to be naked. Ever. It's the worst feeling of all the feelings, you know? So
Shit balls.
my life is just, it's falling apart. I'm hoping August is a big month for me,
I bet it will be.
you know?
Oh,
Big
yeah,
fucking
absolutely.
month. You know, money's coming in, hopefully. You get the stimulus maybe next month. That'll be a little big thing for me if I don't still have this rash. What else could happen in August? Like anything could happen. Trump's gonna give a big speech at the RNC. That'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, that'll be
we'll
good.
like that.
There's so many wonderful...
What else? You know, I love his speeches. You know,
Yeah, I
I
can't
love
get
a good
enough.
45-minute fucking
Ramble.
sesh.
A ramble. Just like, who knows where we're going?
Yeah, I like to sit down and hear a good 45-minute Trump sesh.
Just jazzing.
He's the
Just
jazz president. a little bit.
improvising,
Yeah,
yeah.
he is he's the only one that goes up there and is like, I ain't got nothing prepared,
Improv.
baby.
He looked... I didn't watch it. I only heard the reaction was that his canned speech was a kind of a dud.
Yeah, he's going to quit those. You know what he did say in his canned speech? This is a canned speech. He was like, yeah, earlier in the pandemic, I was given daily press briefings, and they had the highest ratings of anything else on TV. They were some of the most high-rated press briefings that have ever happened. And it's just like, dude,
There's a reason.
you're the fucking president. It's on all the channels. Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen next month, but I'm going to maybe the revolution starts next month, and my body is just put, like God is just, I'm going to go
This is your last
I'm going
trials,
Christian.
dude.
Also, Holy Boys, dude.
You fucked...
Holy boys.
You're right.
You know?
You fucked with the wrong deity.
I fucked around with Jesus too much. Just
Yeah.
too much fucking around with Jesus. I was joking and having a good time. And I guess, like, he's pissed. And I apologize, sir. Will
won.
you take this rash away and do what I did as a kid, you know? Where I would be like, all right, God, I'll believe in you if you help me figure this out, you know?
If you make me pass this test.
Well, it wasn't ever a test. It was like a God, I'll believe
some
in you.
weed.
I remember there was this one time where I lost my shoes somehow, and I don't even ask. I never ended up finding them. Oh no, there's a time we rented a video game from this video rental place, and I lost it. I had no idea where the fuck it went. And my parents were like, "You can't leave the house until you find it. You need to tear this house apart looking for this game." And I never found it. But the whole time I was doing it, I was like, please, Jesus,
You got down on
shine a
your knees.
light on this. Because I had heard at church when I was
Yeah.
in Kansas that Jesus will shine a light to help you find the answers to your problem. So I was like, please, Jesus, shine a light on this video game. I'll just run over and grab it, and then I'll believe in you forever.
Yeah,
I never
makes
found the
sense.
game. That's why I'm an atheist. That's how it happened.
All right.
So let's see.
There it
Let's
is.
pray. I'm going to pray real quick. Please, Lord Jesus Christ, I'm still going to listen to Typo Negative, but I won't say it's cool that he says satanic stuff. I'll just be neutral on that. Amen.
You'll just say that's his God-given right to say what he wants.
Yes. I'll be neutral on it. I'm not going to be like, oh, I fucking love the satanic stuff on this album.
Just say God bless him. That's what you say.
Yeah,
afterwards.
God bless the guy. Now, if I wake up tomorrow without a rash, this is a Christian podcast.
Okay.
Okay?
Deal.
That's the thing. No
Deal.
rash.
That's where the big money's at anyways.
Yeah. Probably going to make a good amount of money just going super Christian. So that's my life. It's falling apart. You're here to listen to it.
We love it.
It's probably, honestly, the worst month I've ever had.
I mean, you're doing well, but yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would be doing anything else but staying in bed for a couple weeks.
My fucking therapist was like, how you doing? When he called, it had been 3 weeks since I'd talked to him, and he said, how you doing? And I told him the big pile up, because there was also a house thing that happened that I'm not talking about on the air. My kid got in trouble, and it was a whole big thing. You know, I don't want to talk about it on the radio.
Yes.
Because my wife got all mad about it. I don't want to deal with it. But that also happened. Okay. And I told my therapist all this stuff that had happened. You know, this thing happened. This car happened. I didn't have the rash yet. I might call him tomorrow and tell him I got a rash just to let him know. And he was like, you're certainly, are you freaking out? Basically is what he asked me. He said, so are you having anxiety attacks? And I'm like, no, but I don't know if that's because I fully adjusted to a full-on 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week panic attack, or if I'm just able to handle my issues better.
Yeah.
You know, I think I am able to handle things a little bit better now. I am, but it is funny.
You're being recalibrated, I think. I think that you did a lot of belly aching and moaning, and you used to, I don't know, I think that you were coming up with a lot of shit to be upset about, and you didn't have anything real for a while, and I think this will recalibrate your senses.
Well, he was also like, right before this happened, he was like, you know, all you ever think about when you're faced with an issue is the negative outcomes. And, you know, in order to be fair in this world, you have to also consider that things could have positive outcomes.
Yeah.
So maybe you should write down the positive outcomes to stuff. And then all that happened to me for an entire 30 days after that was negative outcomes. It's just like gonna send me back to complain. I mean, you're right though. I will never. This is a lie. Obviously, I'm saying this right now. It's a lie. I'm sorry, but this is a new honest version of me because, you know, Jesus. I'm never gonna complain again once this is all over with. When my car's running and the rash is cleared up. Never.
You're done.
I'm done. No more complaints. None.
Sounds great.
Life is good.
Love it. We'll get you the shirt.
Well, yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm going to just go back to regular amount of complaining.
Okay, that's
I'm
good.
like heavy. Like my wife is being all nice to me right now. And tonight, I didn't even get to eat dinner. And everything closes at 11. Because for some fucking reason, the government thinks that, like, people catch coronavirus primarily after 11 p.m.
Well, when the lights are off, you're not paying attention to who's wearing a mask or not.
Does that make sense to you? Because they're like, oh, everything will still stay open, but we would like every. By the way,
man.
they're not even saying,
dude,
to close.
They can't. You can't trust drunks, man. That's all it is. Drunks are the problem.
I know.
If they're allowed out after 11, they're just going to be making out with each other and spreading coronavirus.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely. Bars and patios and drunk people shit is...
Yeah, close them. 100% close them. This closing at 11 means nothing.
Yeah.
I got neighbors next door to me, and they party as hard as anybody I know. You've seen them, right?
Yeah, they're awful.
They party as hard as anybody in this world, and they're always done by about 10:30, 11 o'clock. Just done. But, wolf, when you're on your way up there, it's...
Well, because we're professional,
wild.
we get to be professional night owls. These people are fakers. Like,
yeah.
These weekend warrior types that, like, you know, go hard on Friday and Saturday. You're right. They're in bed by midnight.
Well, they go hard
not
5
like-
days a week. That my neighbors.
They do.
They go harder Friday and Saturday, but pretty much every night they got a beer pong table out back now that's just set up permanently.
Constant, yeah.
And it has a bong that sits on it. And I mean, they go through mad beers. And it's like all the neighbors except for me. That's the other thing that bothers me.
You got to drink beer, dog.
Well, they
hit
don't even,
bongs.
they've never even said, do you like a beer? Would you like a beer, dude? They've never even been like, hey, what's up? And
Because you looks like a guy who can replace a transmission.
yeah, remember when we got home from a tour, the Hellfire tour?
Yeah.
And Nick was filming me for like the documentary, had this big fucking camera, and I'm walking into the house and he's like, what's all this about? And I was like, oh yeah, it's a documentary somebody's making about me. I thought he was going to be like, my neighbor, he's kind of a big fucking deal, you know? But no, he's just like, I don't want to talk to that guy. Fuck him.
Yeah.
You know? And it's because the guy at the end of the street, right? He flies an American flag and an Israeli flag out there. And, which is weird, I know. That, like, you just don't see that very often. And he watches Fox News in his garage all day. All day. It's either Fox News or ZZ Top concerts. Like,
Okay.
the kind of stuff they put on net access TV where it's like just like, you know, Stevie Ray Vaughan concert at, you know, and he sits in that garage all day and watches that. And then, you know, I think that they know that I'm a lefty. I don't know if they know that I'm like he knows I'm a podcaster because the landlord knows him. I know that. So I'm sure he knows I'm a podcaster, and I'm fairly certain my landlord, I mean, everybody knows I'm a lefty because, you know, we don't fly an American flag. We have Black Lives Matter sign in the front yard. We got like, it's like all the hallmarks of that stuff. And I just think that like he knows that. And the rest of the neighbors also probably look at me and think I'm mean, you know?
Yeah, that sounds like some sort of made up conspiracy about yourself.
Why would
Sounds like
nobody,
you're like,
why would they invite everybody but
is that
me?
schizophrenia when you think that
Why?
everybody's going to...
Caller, we're going to get to the calls right now. Why? Answer this question. Why would everybody on the street be partying together except for the old B-man, the fucking party animal of the year?
Because you only stare at your phone. Because they only see the top of your head.
They don't know that.
Do you say
They
hi?
don't
Do you say
know
hi
that.
to them?
I do that thing.
Every time, dude. You got to say hello.
I go like this.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
The,
Not enough.
They never
You
say
can't-
hi to me.
You can't grunt at people.
That it's served me well over the years.
All right.
Hey, you know. Hey.
I knew a lot more neighbors than you do.
It's bullshit. I'm gonna have you come over. We're gonna switch houses
Okay.
for a week.
Okay.
And if they invite you to the party, then we'll fucking know.
I will be. I roam a lot. Like when I'm outside, I'll just roam to the front yard and talk to somebody. So I could definitely get in with them pretty quick, especially if it's beer pong, because I'm also interested in that. It's been a while for me.
Yeah, I've never been invited for a minute over there.
I
Not
went
even.
to remember a couple years back. I went to my neighbors. Went to their party. They were like for that Xenos church.
Yeah, yeah,
They invited us over because we had cats that were both black, and they thought
Yeah.
that was like a reason to invite us over.
yeah.
You got to be more friendly, dude. Here's
hate
the thing.
This. I feel like I should just be invited.
You have to
though,
show interest
you know?
in them as a people.
I do. I'm interested a little bit. Not really. I'm not that interested in them as people, but
So
like,
you've only got speculations.
because
so
I kind of
far.
know who they are. I hear all
No,
their
you don't.
conversations. I hear all the
But
conversations.
you have to hear the lies that they would tell to you.
That's true. Maybe I'll try to. Here's what
Strike
I'll
up
do
a
for the
conversation.
listener. I'm gonna, as I walk in my house, if I see my big neighbor, he's a big guy, big dude, tall, like buff, like built dude, not buff, like not like a wrestler,
Like showy muscles, like
just
a hard worker.
he played football in
Okay,
high school
okay.
for sure. Maybe even like the low level
heart?
college
Okay.
football.
Division III or something?
Yeah, whatever the one that the Buckeyes are.
He
in.
tore his
the Akron Zips.
ACL in a Division III game.
Yeah, he's
championship.
that kind of big guy, and he knows that I do something, and he knows that. I wonder if I'll just blame it on my wife. She's probably mean to him.
Okay.
That's the guy. But he's talked to him. He's talked to Katie and Gwen too. I'm the only motherfucker these people have never talked to on the whole entire street.
You don't appear as someone that wants to be talked to unless they're like a big fan of yours. Like I feel like that's the only time you want someone to talk to you is if they're going to shower you with praises. Otherwise, I don't feel like you have any time for them.
That's not true. I mean, I talked to your neighbor.
Okay, a big fan. My neighbor, the big fan.
Yeah, and the whole time I was like, had one foot towards the door. I felt bad because he kept apologizing to me because I think he could tell that I didn't like want to be standing there talking, you know? But yeah, I need to make some friends. I just need to I don't even want to be their friends. I have perfect friends.
You got to make some changes.
You know?
It's time for you to get on a new path.
I have perfect friends, great friends. But I feel like people should... I want people who don't know me and don't know the podcast to just be like... To like recognize that I have a kind of charisma and like want me at their house. You know, like they want me around. They're like, oh, I'd love to meet this guy. I'm shoot for that. Like regular ass people. Like I want this guy around. Then I'll just never show up.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm busy. long work hours. I have.
All right, you ready?
Let's take a call. Yeah.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Blanca?
Blanca.
Hey, how's it going, Blanca?
Hey, good.
D-Town.
Yeah, D-Town.
Can you imagine why nobody likes me in my neighborhood, Blanca?
It's because you look grumpy.
Thank you.
I think I carry myself like
But you're not, though.
I know.
You're not, though. You're really nice, but, like, you really also don't like people.
I like people. That's why I'm a communist. I want everybody to get along. I want them all to be fed and stuff. And, like, I'll do some of the work.
Sure.
You know? I just don't sort of want to... What are we going to do? Like, watch Survivor together or something? I don't even know what people do.
That's fun.
What's up, Blanca? How's it going tonight?
Okay. Good. On a light note, I made banana bread today for the first time.
Ooh.
Like, with real flour and stuff. And I was like, holy shit, I can bake.
Yeah, that's a fun, easy one. I never mind when bananas are going bad to throw that one together. And it never goes bad. It's never been bad. It's such a solid fucking recipe.
It is. I really like it. Cool.
I'm a big bananas guy, too. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I'm actually calling in today with a very specific topic to talk about. I'm spoken with a lot of the women and non-binary girls, pals of Street Fight, and we just kind of want to like make a little announcement about something that's kind of been on our mind lately. Today we just kind of wanted to talk to specifically to the cis men of Street Fight, and particularly about something that's come up in the Facebook group a lot. And I wish I could say, like, oh, this just happens, like, every now and then. It's not a big deal. And as most women and non-binary pals know, we just kind of, like, take shit on from people, because particularly cis dudes, and just, like, try to ignore it. But you get to a point where you just kind of get pissed about things.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to make
We're pissed all the time, so you're welcome to be pissed. We don't want to steal all the being pissed off.
Yeah, we're fucking pissed. Yeah. So first, just kind of wanted to bring up the Romanov meme. You know which one. I'm not going to, like, say the details on the podcast. But at the end of the day, we, the women of Street Fight, wanted to say how awful it was to have people straight up missing the point about our feelings, specifically towards the children. That was just not okay, period. And we just kind of, like, wanted to, like, say that. Like,
okay.
It was just not cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
And mostly just, like, the rampant mansplaining that is going on every fucking day. And, like, man, I get it. Like, we're all Street Fighters, and we're all on the same side. And we just want, like, what's best for our comrades. Like, we want everybody to feel good. You know, we come to a safe space, and we want everybody to feel comfortable. And sometimes growth just, you know, growing sometimes takes a little discomfort of the self.
Yeah.
And we just want a better world for everybody. And the main thing is, like, we just see, especially when particularly a woman or a non-binary pal makes a comment of shares an opinion, that they get like dogpiled on and get like paragraph after paragraph after why our feelings are wrong. And it's one thing if like ever that happened to everybody, but then a cis dude shares like a different opinion, and it's like, okay, cool. It just automatic like respect out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And we're like, what the fuck? Like, we just got like 7 paragraphs about like why our opinion and feelings on this is wrong. And we just kind of wanted to share that. Like, we just want people to hear that and be like, hey, like, maybe like kind of take a little bit, you know, a little more introspection into yourself and saying like, am I making this person uncomfortable? Am I kind of being a little too strong? You know, maybe 7 paragraph replies are not the like answer, and that might be a little bit too much.
Yeah.
And I know we're not perfect, but you know,
You're all
just
perfect.
because we're on the left, no, we're not. But like, just because we're on the left, we know like we're still, especially cis men, are still capable of being sexist, whether we know it or not.
Yeah.
And I want to tell, like, especially other cis dudes, call this shit out. Because when we call it out, we just get more combative towards people. Like, we get combative, other people get combative towards us. And when other, like, cis dudes call it out, it's like, okay, cool, man.
Yeah,
just, like, call shit out if you see it.
I agree. No, I think I can definitely co-sign the sentiment, and I think for myself also, you know, I want to say anything I want and act any way I want and do whatever I want. But at the same time, if a woman is like, you're like being too much of a guy right now, like the wrong way. We all know that the macho shit is too much, and we need less of that in the world. So I think that it is like you should also pay attention when somebody says something. If someone tries to push against you, and like you said, seven paragraph things are an indication that maybe like you care too much, or that you fucked up and got yourself entangled into something that like isn't worth your time and isn't worth like going after somebody, especially when it's, you know, targeting, you know, women and non-binary people in the community.
And people that are just in the same spaces that want the same things.
We're here,
as you. Yeah. That's how I'm very much like of the mind that like, first of all, it's like if somebody says something bothered them, I would rather just people just be like, you know, you can explain yourself. I don't think anybody's saying don't explain yourself, but like also it's like not a fight. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel like there has to be. I feel like you can have conversations where people say like, hey, you know, this makes me uncomfortable, and then that's it. That's like the conversation. You know what I mean? Like I mean, I you know, I'm not on Facebook much at all anymore. I don't see what goes on. I try to go on like once a week onto Facebook and look at it, but it's a bummer place for me. So I just kind of stay away. So I'll pop into the group and see what's going on, and that's basically all I do over there. But it does feel like this is broadly across every place, because people are kind of talking about how we have our conversations, even on Twitter, everywhere, how you have conversations. And it like people, it's okay if people tell you that they didn't like what you just did. Like, it doesn't mean you're a piece of shit. Yeah. It doesn't mean you're an asshole. It means you might have been an asshole.
And this isn't a place to openly act and do whatever you want. Like, there are restrictions on some of this. Like, in that, like, we don't put up with a lot of the edgelord bullshit that other people do put up with. It's not to say that we're policing what people can and can't do, but we're not going to disregard some woman's opinion just because we feel that, like, you know, certain opinions shouldn't be respected, or for the sake of debate. I feel like for me, in my life, I was raised in a very fighty household, and there was a lot of like winning the argument, and you grab onto the rope, and you get into this tug of war where it's like, I'm trying to say this, and then someone replies with something that doesn't acknowledge that, or they are acknowledging their own thing, and you just have to sometimes let go of the rope. Like, you just, like, the putting your hands up and saying, all right, no one deserves a 7 paragraphs from me, especially somebody that in like a mutual friends group. Maybe a conservative deserves 7 paragraphs, but certainly not somebody in our group.
Yeah.
And when, this stuff is being brought up, you need to think about what you're doing. Like, this isn't an open place to just make jokes about killing babies and women without repercussions and shit,
And to be defensive about things like that is what's like ridiculous and upsetting.
Yeah,
especially for a lot of women.
Yeah,
and especially a lot of people who are street fighters who are parents.
Yeah, and there are so many spaces to say insane, crazy stuff with it's just not the avenue. You kind of have to read the room, on like everybody that's there is sharing the space with you. It's not all about how you think things should be or what, in your opinion, the best way to do things are. It's how everybody together is behaving. It's how we all interact on that thing,
Yeah. And I want to know, like, this isn't about tone policing and being like, oh, you're not allowed to say, like, this opinion and stuff. But it's also, like you said, you have to read the room. And you have to be a little bit considerate sometimes. And I get, like, especially a lot of people are just, like, so used to shit posting. And it's like, I get it. The world is fucked. You're jaded as fuck and you're miserable and all this stuff. But, like, we're all in this together. And, when we see that as women and non-binary folks that we are sharing similar opinions to cis men and they're not getting the same treatment, that's when we're like, this is some sexist bullshit here. Yeah. And that's not okay. And a lot of women and like non-binary pals, like they're, especially the way we grow up and are like socialized, we're going to be quiet about it. We're very apologetic about things and we're very like, oh, like, it's okay. We're just going to let it slide. And like I grew up in an argumentative household too. And like, I feel like, and this is why I probably, get into it with my father-in-law, is I have the confidence of like an older straight white man. And I'm not afraid to speak my mind.
Sure.
Like that's just like peak level confidence right there.
Yeah.
And like, I'm just not going to like stand by and like have my people like hurting like that. I'm like, I'm going to say something on the show tonight, and I really appreciate you listening, and it means a lot. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah,
Thanks
we
for
appreciate
calling.
Yeah.
I mean, it can go across every place, too. It's like you said, read the room. Like, there are places where you can be as mean as you want.
Yeah.
And
our
group isn't a place to be mean.
Yeah.
But, listen.
Find a place to go be as mean as you want about shit.
Yeah, I'm a dude that likes, I have a rougher sensibility, so I fucking go places where they have a rougher sensibility and hang out,
Yeah.
So it's not,
Yeah,
it doesn't even say anything bad about you or anything. It just is who you are and how you're raised.
And if you're young and you find yourself being increasingly pissed at somebody and you notice it's a woman, like, don't do the reply. Maybe just like think about like what made me so fucking incensed about this. Just delete the reply, put it on a Google Documents and delete it. Because that's another thing too, is I like Blanca. I've met in real life and she's a pistol for sure. And I like that. I like people that will just say, this is what I fucking think. I don't care what anybody in this room has to say. Like, that's a lot of what has come out of Street Fight. But at the same time, you have to have consideration, like, when you're making somebody feel bad, or when you're dogpiling people.
It's about not making people feel. Like all of my stuff is about not making people feel bad.
And we're not building a new fucking society on Facebook. So most of the time, if something bothers you, just go I'm probably reading it wrong. And I'm guilty of this too. I have a lot of deleted comments. I feel like somebody has a graveyard of Brett Payne screenshots where I just wrote something crazy in the middle of the night and was like, you know what? I shouldn't have done that, and I delete it.
Yeah. Yeah, Brett, you've become slightly famous about middle of the night posting.
I didn't know that.
People have been like, anytime something weird happens online, they're like, Brett's going to eviscerate these people in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know what he does in the middle of the night. He takes an aggressive pill and goes for it.
Yeah.
But you know what?
I get revved
I
up.
like it. I like it. I don't care. You know?
Yeah, it's all that. I'm on my Steve Jobs shit. I'm on that LSD.
Oh my God, everything on my body itches.
You said earlier the worst. I'm just going to share this to everybody because I had to go through this misery. You said it felt like you just got a haircut.
That is the feeling.
Under your shirt.
Under my shirt, under my pants, everywhere on my body just feels like it has little hairs. The little hairs after you get your hair shaved.
Nope.
It's bad.
Atrocious.
It's bad.
Fucking
yeah.
atrocious.
It's like razor burn on my whole stomach, all my sides, my legs, and my neck, and my butt is itchy.
What else is new?
Sucks, dude. This is stupid.
It could
You ready
blow.
to get the next
At least
call?
it could blow, so at least it's not blowing as well. All right, you ready? Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who the fuck we talking to tonight? Oh shit! I brought two people on the line.
What? Fight it out.
What?
Now there's two people
My
on the
butt's
line.
itchy.
Hello.
Hey.
You ladies.
Party line.
Hello.
Can you
Hey,
put one on hold?
574. I'm gonna mute you. I'm sorry, but you're up next. You just jumped in line.
Yeah, it's okay though.
All right, they're muted.
Okay, who's this? Who we talking to tonight?
Well, this is Brendan from Queens.
What's up? Wait, the band?
What's going on? Yeah, the band Queens.
Queen's the band. I
the
fucking
Ramones.
love their shit.
Wait, did you say
Excellent.
Queens or Tweens?
Queens, New York.
Ah, from Queens. I thought you said Tweens. I was like,
Oh.
what?
Oh, I thought you were doing a joke thing. Like, are you from the band Queen?
No, Katie wears a Tweens shirt.
I thought so too.
Yeah, no, it's a band that my
Tweens.
wife likes that she wears their shirt all the time. What's up? How's it going?
No, I'm just calling in. Want to say hello. I want to also second Blanco's statements. 100% correct. No need to explain the world to everybody. We can all just like relax and let people have their opinions. you know?
Yeah.
Have a talkie. Let's all just have a talkie. Hey, I did Google tweens because I saw that happening. And the people also ask line is, what age are tweens? Is 10 a tween? Is 8 a tween? Is 13 a teenager? A tween? That's all the things people
Is there a band called Tweens?
There is.
Okay. They're gonna
There
get a
has
huge
to be.
bump from us.
Yeah. So what do you got going on tonight?
I also called to talk a little bit about. I know you guys are talking about the Trapped battle and the sales charts of the music business, and I just wanted to call in to shed some light about math and music.
Sure.
And just, basically how they like to make things up as an industry.
How
It's all up to
how does that
comment.
so are you telling me that Trapped may have sold more than 600 albums or less?
Oh no, they definitely sold 600 albums. They probably sold less than 600 albums.
You think so?
Knowing that they, oh yeah, I mean the history of like buying your own albums is still a very real thing in today's age.
Also, round number one, and number two.
Perfect number, yeah.
Yeah, and they're actually saying 1,200, which I don't know if you know about
Ooh.
this. If you know about this industry, is that good? I mean, is that something to be proud of?
In today's day and age, I guess so. 1,200
I mean-
almost like getting on the Billboard 200 now.
Oh my God, really?
Yes, yeah.
Shit. 1,200 albums is you almost make it onto the Billboard Hot 200 if you sell 1,200 albums now. You can almost get on there.
We could do that.
Let's sell some.
Oh yeah.
Let's do a comedy
you're charting
album.
band.
If we could divert the Patreon money to pay for albums for a whole month, we would get in the Billboard.
I mean, we could
No, you could
probably
just-
get on the
you could bundle
Billboard
it.
charts. Yeah. How did you get on the Billboard charts?
I thought they took
do you
bundling
know?
out. I thought
You can you can sell anything as an album almost today. You can make
Okay.
a T-shirt count as a download. So you can really just make up what an album is.
Yeah. So how?
We're gonna put a
what is
QR
the?
code on a T-shirt and sell it.
Yeah. What is the
Didn't
math?
Nicki Minaj go after Travis Scott over it?
What? So what? How does the math work?
Oh, so at least on streaming, it's like it used to be a few years ago when streaming kind of took off. They changed it to like 1,250 streams equaled one album. So
That's
you need
nuts.
one song to stream that much for one album sale. And like I don't know anyone who's listened to an album 1,250 times.
Oh, you
when they
do
bought
actually.
one,
You're talking to somebody that's listened to the first Korn album. I bet you I've listened. That is a wild thing, though. I'll agree with you on that. Like to get 1,250 playthroughs of an album to equal one album sale is. Because back then,
Yeah.
you would buy an album and it would suck sometimes, and you would just chalk it up as a loss and have to, sell it for $3 or fucking it just sat in your case and never got played. I mean, 1,250 seems like a 1,250 plays seems like sort of an insurmountable number for a small band for one album. You see what I'm saying, Brad?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't done enough plays for like Metallica or Megadeth to get them credit for one album, and I feel like I've been listening to them constantly for 6 months.
Yeah. Typo Negative. Can you look up how many times you've listened on Spotify?
I don't know if they track that.
Because I can check and see how many times I've listened to October Rust.
Yeah,
They'll tell you if you have a link to like Last FM maybe.
I don't have that. I wish I
Spotify won't tell you
did.
that.
yeah, I'm a Last
They'll
FM
only tell
guy.
you how many. Oh yeah, you can probably see in there.
Yeah. So, basically somebody has, in order to get, so when they say 600 albums, when Trapt says they sold 600 albums, and then we talked about another band that sold a lot more.
Korn.
Yeah, Korn sold a lot more.
Yeah.
But so we're really looking at, because first week sales would have to that's
There's millions
CDs.
of Trap fans.
Yeah.
Millions of Trap fans right there.
That's true. I mean, they did get a lot of listens then for 600 albums.
Or a couple of like computers just replaying the album over and over again for a few thousand hours.
Yeah, or maybe
They do
like
that?
500. Yeah, oh yeah, that's real popular. All the rappers accuse every other rapper of doing it, which means they're guilty of it, of course.
Yeah.
If you know about it, you're doing it.
Yeah, that's definitely rampant. That is a real thing that happens to the point of like even purchasing iTunes gift cards and just rebuying stuff,
That's interesting.
just to get numbers.
I can't see what he's showing me, but I'll go over and look.
No, you're fine.
But are you in a band? Or do you work in the
I
industry?
play in a band. I do a little bit of both. Yeah, so I know kind of both sides of the story of the artistry and then the industry side, which is it's really funny being in the industry. You think everyone's like, oh, I used to play guitar, or I grew up in this band, or all this stuff, and that's a very small percentage of the people.
Yeah.
So it's like mostly business people. It's a very interesting take on like how art is even handled.
Marketers. It's mostly marketers. Yeah, I knew somebody that did like artist management stuff that couldn't play a fucking tune, couldn't even hum you a tune.
I mean, do they like me? They obviously like
love
music to
yeah.
be in the industry,
Right.
You know?
I guess it's not necessary.
They love music,
But
and
it's surprising.
They love partying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's most likely what it is.
So that's I mean, it sounds like a sweet job, really. I always what I wanted to be? Do they still have these guys? An A&R guy.
You need a ponytail.
There was a period of my life.
yeah, of
There was a
course.
period of my life where I was like, I want to be, you know what I want to be when I grow up? I told my dad, and he said, you can't do that. I said I wanted to be an A&R guy.
When
And
I
he was
read
like, nobody gets those jobs.
that heavy metal book I read, they talked about all the ponytail guys at the end of the 80s that were just trying to pick bands off of fucking the street out there and make them into something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, could I grow up? Maybe I could do a ponytail thing.
Well, I'm reading American Hardcore.
It's the only way around.
I just watched a documentary about doom metal this weekend and stoner metal, and it was about Sleep, the band.
Oh, Matt Pike.
Yeah.
Matt Pike is the legend.
So in this interview, they talk about how they got signed to London Records, which was apparently a big label, right?
Yeah.
And when they got signed,
Yeah.
they were like, "We're making a 60-minute song," and they were like, "Yeah, cool, man, yeah." And then they made the 60-minute song, and the label was like, "What are we supposed to do with this 60-minute
Right.
song?" And then held it for 3 years until they until they were able to get their hands on it and release it. It's like record labels are fucking. Because I've been reading a lot of music books, scene books, basically. I've done Our Band Could Be Your Life, Please Kill Me, Louder Than Hell, and now I'm reading
Nice.
American Hardcore. American Hardcore.
American hardcore. That's the greatest. The hardcore scene was, to me, the best. To your point of punk was not a working man's music. American hardcore will teach you otherwise.
Yeah. Did you the American hardcore? I'm gonna say this, and people are gonna get super mad at me. It sounds like a terrible scene. It just like the hardcore scene did not seem fun at all to me. And like it is neat though that they did, like, this is the way I read into it, you know, so maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like they were like, we're not going to do any of this fucking rock and roll shit, but it got to the point where they weren't having fun, where it was just like, we're not even going to like do the fun stuff that you get to do as a rock and roll person. You know?
You're kind of right. They were so counter that they were like, no, we're not. Especially when you talk about like Ian MacKaye and all of them, it's like, no, we're not even going to like have fun. Like,
Yeah.
we're gonna just be very serious.
And no one's going to make any money on this.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing though.
Yeah, and
Ian,
now you. Yeah.
didn't Ian MacKaye come from like a academic? Like his family had some money, I believe.
Well, yeah, he came from the D.C. area, and that's, you know, his writing is that way. But if you look into the New York hardcore scene, I think
those
like, you'll
people,
find
yeah.
that the working class.
Yes.
Yeah,
fighter types,
Cro-Mags
that's all they
We're a
they
different
wrote about.
animal.
Yeah, Cro-Mags were very
Cro-Mags.
working class.
Think of it
Carnivore was super.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just heard a really fun. I just listened to a really fun interview with this guy that was talking about, like, you know, I didn't like nu metal, but back in 1993, I went to see Sick of It All, and Korn was opening for him, and they said it like. Everybody in the audience was like, "What the fuck is
They
this?" And
opened
like,
for Sick of It All?
They opened for Sick of It All.
That sounds
That's
tight.
amazing.
Fucking crazy.
There was nobody else.
Yeah.
There was, like, at the time, who would they tour with? So they would tour with bands because the first time we saw them, they were opening for Megadeth. And people were like, and, you know, obviously people got mad
Yeah.
because they didn't look like rock and roll guys on stage. And that's the other thing about the hardcore scene is, like, I love is that, like, they did not dress like rock and roll stars at all. They were just like,
It looks like I remember there was one of my friends was like, I was listening to some music and they're like, this just looks like guys just got up off the couch and started playing instruments. And I was like, yeah, that's what I like.
Yeah, that's
like,
cool.
I want people that look like I can do it. I don't want it to be like $1 million contracts and glitz and glamour and sequins and shit. It has to be attainable for me. You know?
Yeah, right. And reading about the hardcore scene is really weird for me because I was like I was in the time to be in that audience.
No.
Yeah. 92,
80s?
93, 94, 95.
Okay.
You know, I was listening to Korn.
Sure.
Maybe not. No, I wasn't in the 86 and stuff. What? Yeah, I missed it. Grunge was what I missed that was happening. And I was like,
this sucks.
Didn't even hear it, you know, but yeah, I'm enjoying American hardcore. The author is a little bit of a showboat. He really likes to say, like, this is what happened. There were about 35 people there and you weren't there. And anybody that says they were there is lying. I was there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, it's once all the praise came years later, they're like, I gotta think I'm important now, you know? No one listened to me before.
Yeah,
I find now, you know.
I find those people interesting though, because there's a documentary about thrash metal called Murder in the Front Row, and it's made by fans that were just heavy parts of the scene. And I do think those people are super important.
Yeah.
Like, I think the people that were part of the scene that weren't in bands.
The ones that dutifully
Yeah,
showed up every single
100%.
week to see you and support you, like they are responsible for it. And you know, it's not a matter of like one band it's not like a matter of Metallica showing up and they changed the world. There was a steady stream of people that were all doing that stuff for Metallica to break.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, the community. Yeah, it's all about the community. That was all about that.
So what are you
little less
into
now,
now?
you know?
What are you into now, music wise? What's your bands?
Oh, I think you should check out this band Dead, DEHD. I think they just put a
DEH?
release out.
Okay, I will.
Yeah, Dead, DEHD.
What do they do?
Give them a whirl.
All right.
They're like a rock band.
Okay.
I like my favorite bands are Death and Megadeth, and I have really tonight
isn't
actually
Megadeth type
tonight
stuff.
I know, but
they're
tonight,
not that heavy, but they're more, but they're aggressive, but not as heavy.
But
Okay.
tonight for the music we have Undeath. So I'm actually excited to
Ooh.
know about a new type of death.
I love dead stuff.
That was
I
the
love songs
greatest.
about being dead and maybe wanting to be dead and
How fun it's going to be when you're dead.
yeah, making feeling like
Riding a motorcycle in hell.
how scary is it to be dead? You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. I'll check this band
We're
out.
in
They
a
look cool.
pandemic. It is the season.
Yeah.
I've listened to 10,000 Ways to Die.
You
by
are in a
Obituary
business. Before we
today.
let you go, you did say you are around the business and stuff. Can we ask you a really important question? Is metal back? Is metal back? Is that what they're talking about there in the
Ooh.
business?
The metal is definitely coming back. I 100% see heavier music in general coming back.
Not stoner metal or doom metal, regular metal.
The good stuff.
Doom metal.
I mean, what do you call regular metal?
well, I'm just saying,
harsh
like,
name a
guitars.
yeah, doom metal and stuff is basically what I'm saying
not
is
slow metal, no.
respectful. Like, people respect doom metal. It's always been respected since it's come out. Sleep and those bands, they've always been respected through this whole time. I'm talking about, like, the rising, like, new metal and the thrash and like new forms of metal. Like, there are bands that do like fusions of 3 or 4 different kinds of metal, and like it feels like it's just out there more than it has been in like a decade.
100%. Yeah, there's a lot of prog metal going on, and there's a lot of like experimental musicianship in general across like the space of rock music.
It's awesome.
It's really it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah,
You know,
it
the
seems like
music is democratized. Anyone can make it.
yeah, and it
That's
seems
good.
like the kids are just like my daughter is. By the way, this is the coolest thing in the world to me. My daughter is a cool kid. Yesterday, she asked me if I knew a band. She's really into this band. She's like, "You ever heard of this band, The Smiths?" And I'm like, "Kid, all the coolest people in the world like the Smiths when they were your age. So
Yeah.
you're on the right fucking track."
Yeah, keep going. Keep going.
Can you imagine her listening to the Smiths?
Yeah, I did when I was her age.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh God, if you'd have played that I don't even want to think of what I would have called the Smiths.
Yeah, I liked them.
Well, thanks
I
for
remember
calling in.
That band, Snake River Conspiracy, covered one of their songs. I think that's how I learned about them, to be honest.
Well, thanks for calling in, buddy. It's good to talk to you. It was fun. We gotta get these calls in, Brett.
We got calls. Yeah, and to address what he said, we did have we got somebody on mute. You're in the queue. We'll get you right quick. But we talked about this on the metal show, and I don't think it was addressed on like the free regular show. But we have the metal premium audio is happening on Patreon. But in the call-in show, the patio show we did a couple weeks back, we talked about like punk and metal, and it was like a big confusion. And I think that to say was like a lot of the punk heroes are treated as like artistic people that get praised by, people that go to college and stuff, where, like Matt Pike is not a well-known person. Matt Pike is not fucking Lou Reed, and he should be,
Yeah.
and like Chuck Schuldiner should be somebody that people know, but they know Jim Carroll or Patti Smith or
Which
fucking.
they should know them too. Patti Smith and Jim Carroll kick ass.
Sure.
You
But
know.
like those people get treated like it seems more
Genius.
Yeah, they get treated like the New York Times will write about them. That like they get representation, whereas metal gets treated as just hillbilly, pillbilly, fucking shit.
Yeah.
It gets treated like white trash shit.
Yeah, for sure. She is listening to Louder Than Bombs. The Smiths. It's a comp.
Good
so
one. All right, let's.
very proud of my daughter for liking the Smiths.
Yeah, did you break it down how often?
Did nothing.
Oh yeah, she'll find
I'm
out.
not going to tell her about Morrissey.
You shouldn't. I agree. I mean, she should have the same untouched thing. She can do her research and
Yeah.
find out.
I mean, I was surprised she found him without me. Like
Today's TikTok or kids dancing?
no
real
TikTok. She
mopily?
didn't got it off of TikTok either. I think it just came up in one of her because she's a sad music kid. She loves sad shit, and it probably just came up on one of the playlists she listens to, and she was like, "I really like this Morrissey."
Yeah.
So
All right, let's get this muted caller. Thank you for waiting so patiently. You're the best. How's it going tonight?
Oh, great, guys. I just have a PSA, but I got to go because I'm at work. This is my
sorry,
PSA.
shit.
We owe you.
Don't be, this is it. It's just one sentence. Don't be a dick. That's it.
All right, yeah.
All right, I gotta go.
Don't
All
be
right.
that.
All
Bye.
right,
Thank
guys,
you.
bye.
We'll move you to the front of the line if you call back. I got your number here. I'm going to put it on my list here.
I also tried to turn her on to Joy Division. I think Joy Division's a good.
Cure. Smith and the
Cure.
Cure go hand in hand.
Really.
Yes.
I love Joy Division though, so if she started listening to Joy Division, I could rock Joy Division.
I think that
That's Sad Bastard music.
right.
Joy Division, and that movie is so good.
Yeah, but the music is like I don't know. The music on that is not comparable.
It's not the same. They both sound the same to me.
It doesn't sound. It doesn't evoke the same thing to me. I guess.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm just saying.
I thought she might like Joy Division, but she does like guitars. So maybe she's like she wants we're selling her acoustic guitar. And
She's going electric.
she wants to go electric. She really wants. So if you're a listener and you have like she wants a Fender Stratocaster, of course.
Bullshit. Don't give her that.
I'm not gonna buy her one, but she wants an
She
electric
wants
guitar.
the best guitar. You got to learn on something cheap.
Nah, most people learn on a Fender Strat.
Yeah,
I
that's
feel.
the first time. No way. She got
I mean,
the
we
best
get one
camera the
cheap.
first time.
Yeah, that was dumb.
The thing about it is that you can't without working for it, you have no appreciation for it.
Yeah.
Like unless you did a podcast on a headphone mic, you're not going to appreciate it when you have like a Shure in front of you.
Yeah, I just
mean,
wanted
you
to.
never know if you actually have the drive to do it because people will play guitars on plastic string guitars and become virtuosos. They don't need the guitar doesn't make the player.
Well, I don't think she wants to be a virtuoso either. I mean, we're gonna look into getting her electric guitar just because she wants one. I don't know what kind she's gonna get, but if somebody has like a decent one sitting around and wants to sell it, I'd probably buy it off of you.
Wish.com has them.
I'm not buying a Wish.com guitar for my kid. I want to get her something decent because, like, I started on something decent and then. Actually, I gave my guitar to somebody who's in a band. So it worked out. That has opened.
Do not spend any money. Just get the $199 special at Walmart.
There isn't. No, you don't buy a Walmart guitar.
Yes, because people that are passionate about music are not concerned with the name on it. You have to sift her out real quick.
You're kind of right on that. Maybe we'll get her like a Les Paul.
The people I know that played guitar had pieces of shit.
Yeah, it looks like you can get like.
You buy yourself the guitar of your dreams. You don't get your parents to buy it for it.
And it looks like you can get like Les Pauls for like $150.
There you go. That sounds great. I had a nice Epiphone, okay? I had an Epiphone from Service Merchandise. It was a blowout deal. It was under $100. My parents said that they would get me lessons. They never did. And then I sold it for probably $80 of 3 years later.
I should
when I was
just
on my own.
tell her I'm not going to spend any money. I'm not going to buy an expensive guitar unless it's a 7-string Ibanez.
Yes.
If you're going to pull out some chunky metal riffs, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
Let's get this next call in here.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
What's good? It's your boy Kush Waffles. It's hot as fuck up here.
Yeah.
It's that time of the year.
Imagine it being that hot and having a rash.
My garden, my lawn is fried to a crisp because I don't water it and I don't put any chemicals on it, for all of you fuckers out there.
Oh yeah. Quick thing to answer the question. Why does you like you? I mean this in the nicest way. Was it Brett who said this? Who asked that question?
Said
That was
what?
me, it's Brian. Why won't people?
Yeah,
why won't my neighbors like me?
Uh-oh.
Okay, Brian. I have explained it. It may sound like I'm bragging you, but trust me, it may have something to do with the fact that you look like the bassist from Alien Ant Farm, but that's just my guess.
No, people would like me if I looked like the bassist from Alien Ant Farm.
People think I'm in a band all the time. Honestly, one of their ends is they're like, "Are you in a band or something?" I'm like, "No, I'm not that cool."
That's true.
Yeah, but Alien Ant Farm was one of those. Yeah, Alien Ant Farm was one of those weird bands during the new metal era that had a weird combination of being actually good. Well, they were three things. They were actually okay. I like their lead singer's singing voice. I will give you. Can we at least agree that their lead singer, Derek, had a good singing voice? Can we at least agree on that? I like his.
I liked it.
I wish he would scream more. You know.
Yeah, but that they were actually had some. They could have been better. They also were weirdly under the whole like moral panic of new metal. If anyone remembers that. Or is that just me who remembers when parents were freaking out about all those bands?
No, my parents
Yes, no.
just hated them. My dad just thought they sucked. He didn't like.
Oh, I forgot. I was raised Baptist in Michigan. People around there freak out about fucking everything.
That's
See, I never
the third part.
I never put Alien Ant Farm into new metal though. They were punk to me because
toured
Me
with
neither.
all
I
the
just said one of the
bands.
bands that were tangentially of that era. It's more, but they also had a third thing, which was obvious, were a sort of a one-hit wonder, and we all know what song that was for, which wasn't even their own
Movies
song.
I think Movies charted.
yeah, but that's not what anybody knows.
People know Movies.
That's not what everyone knows. And also, last thing about them, can everyone stop saying it's cultural appropriation for them to have covered the... If you watch the video, it's nothing but them stuffing as many Michael Jackson references in as humanly fucking possible.
Yeah, it rocks.
Like, and they were dedicated. Like, they put in like light up sidewalks while they were walking. Like, it's like, okay, clearly you watched all the '80s stuff and said, how much of this can we fit into one fucking video from videos that aren't this song? But fuck it, it worked. But
Alien Ant Farm.
Anyway,
I want to say this: Alien Ant Farm's chart history is Movies peaked at number 18 on the charts. Smooth Criminal peaked at number 1.
Yeah,
and These Days peaked at number 29.
I don't even know what These Days is.
No fucking idea. Not even.
My favorite song. My favorite song for them, I don't even think it was a B-side. It was just a random song I heard on I can't remember what album, but someone will probably know. It's Stranded. I love that song by them. So that's just me. Anyway,
when I was going to Warped Tour back in the day, they got forced onto the bill a couple times, and people totally hated it. Like, there was people that were seeing like the Vandals and Rancid and Subhumans and stuff, and then it was like Alien Ant Farm came up to do a Michael Jackson fucking thing, and they just ripped them apart.
Well, of course they hated them at the Warped Tour. They were probably one of the few bands at Warped Tour whose girlfriends were old enough at the time.
Yeah, but it was also, I don't know, they the thing of like I guess it's just that. Also, I heard they were like colossal dicks. Like they thought
Alien Ant Farm?
Yeah, everybody. The report from backstage was that they thought that stupid fucking cover song was enough to inflate their ego.
which goes again back to why I said they probably think you're a dick because you look like the bassist, who, by reports that I've heard, was worse than the lead singer. But
Bravo,
for the
you
main
proved your point. You proved your point, Kush.
God, can you imagine being the bass player for Alien Ant Farm and thinking you're a big deal?
Point. I want to get to the main point. First and foremost, let's get some F's in the chat. R.I.P. Michael Brooks and Grant Imahara. Yes, he died too.
Oh yeah. I wasn't super familiar with Michael Brooks, but yeah, it seems like he was very loved. He did stuff that a lot of people really liked, and seemed like a good guy from everything I've heard about him. So rest in power, my dude.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah, he was really good. He's actually part of the reason I wound up finding all the weird leftist podcasts I got to. Like, that's how I ended up finding, like, Champagne Sharks and whatnot, yada, yada, yada. But, you know, he was a great guy. Like, you know, like, he was like, if I had to use music scene terms, he was like a producer that you didn't really hear about, but all the bands that clearly worked with him and had their best albums made by them, when they hear he dies, they were like, "Fuck."
He's Pharrell.
You know what I'm talking about? Like
he's Pharrell. You're saying?
Yeah, let's go with that. Let's say, like, if Pharrell dies, which probably won't happen for a while, because I'm convinced that motherfucker has a Lazarus pit.
He's going forever.
That's just my theory. He has a Lazarus pit that he shares with Lorenz Tate and Rachel True from The Craft.
Yep.
I'm serious. Go look at what Rachel True looks like from 1992 versus now. No fucking difference. I rest my case. But, yeah, main thing about the whole car thing you said, yeah, I feel you on, you know, old cars. My grandma, before she died, told everybody to leave me her old Lincoln Continental Mark IV. I wanted that car so fucking bad, but the dumbass kids destroyed it. I fucking love that thing. Like, I actually had one of my friends, thank God no one will be able to find it. One of my friends was like a SoundCloud rapper for a little bit in the early years before it got big. Yeah. And he asked me to let my grandma use the car for that.
I mean, it's a legendary fucking vehicle. You said it got torn apart, though? Like, I would still take it to try to do... That's one of those things... I feel like
no, you don't understand. They destroyed the car to where we had to actually call it to get like picked up. Like, it wasn't just the wheels were fucked up.
Okay.
They destroyed the engine block somehow.
Yeah, that's how motherfuckers drive a car. That's I do that too.
Brian does that with his vehicles.
I'm hard. People always like, you're hard on your car. I'm like, what? Do I hit the gas pedal too hard?
You're hard on everything.
No.
You blow everything out. Everything is blown out.
You have to understand how bad this is. No, you guys got to understand how bad it was. When the mechanic came there to go get it picked up, he said, "We're glad you didn't turn it on because with some sort of damage with it was apparently that if we had turned it on, we probably would have turned the car into a very big IED."
Yeah, not good.
Apparently. Yeah. So, I actually have something I wanted to read to you guys, real quick, involving the whole COVID thing with, you know, the whole stimulus and everything going on. It was oh my God, this state is a fucking nightmare. Like, I just want to tell people, this is why I say Michigan is way more dysfunctional than Ohio ever will be. This shit right here.
We need more truthers like you to spread the word about the greatness of Ohio.
Yeah, from the Detroit News, Feds, Michigan unemployment contractor, part of $2 billion fraud scheme. In Lansing, a contract employee of Michigan's unemployment insurance agency has been charged after allegedly taking part in a multi-million-dollar fraud scheme during the COVID-19 panic, U.S. Attorney Matthew Schneider says. Amid record jobless filings in Michigan, Brandy Hawkins, 39, of Detroit, allegedly used her insider access at the agency to fraudulently release payment on hundreds of fraudulent claims, according to an announcement from the U.S. Department of Justice. She then used the proceeds of her crime to purchase high-end handbags and luxury goods, the announcement added. Hawkins' actions result in the fraudulent disbursement of more than $2 million in federal and state funds intended for unemployment assistance during the pandemic, the release said. Randy Hawkins is charged with exploiting the current pandemic to defraud the state of Michigan and the United States for their own personal gain, Schneider said in a news release. These are serious allegations, and my office is committed to prosecuting any person who attempts to use the COVID-19 crisis to defraud the people of Michigan. Now, I want to stop right there. Isn't it funny that they're willing to do all this shit just to find money? But right now in Portland, people are getting their shit kicked in by the cops, and nobody's doing a goddamn thing. Isn't that hilarious, people? They can track down $2 million worth of unemployment money, but no one is able to explain who the fuck is, what agency is sending these, fucking Pinkerton detective agency ass motherfuckers out to Portland to beat up peaceful protesters.
Yeah.
Isn't that just grand?
Yeah. It's always been like this, but it just keeps like ratcheting up. Like the tension is just getting higher and higher every day, it feels like.
Yes. But I want to say thank you, guys. The reason I hadn't called in the last weeks is I have to be honest. Please check in on your friends during this time for mental health reasons, because literally the reason I didn't call in is because I was very suicidal. I wish I were joking. I wish this was a joke. But literally the only thing that kept me clinging to any sanity was a lot of weed and you guys' show.
Oh, well, thank you. I hope you're feeling better.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we wish you the best.
Yeah,
I just followed you on Twitter, so you're welcome to DM me.
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for that. I want to leave you guys with last joke and one big statement to a certain somebody on Twitter. The joke goes like this: what did the veterinarian say to her mom when she tried to set her up on a blind date with a cop? Mom, I'm an animal lover. That doesn't mean I'll marry a pig.
Perfect.
Oh, hey,
new Laffy Taffy. That should be on the new Laffy Taffy.
Yeah, that would be great if they.
That's going to be Antifa Laffy Taffy.
Yeah, let's make some Antifa Laffy Taffy and put Kush Waffles jokes in the package.
Shit, just give me a writing job at Memes TV, and I can deal with that. I don't want to do Laffy Taffy.
We aren't making Laffy Taffy.
Yeah.
Somebody at Memes TV get me a writing job. I'll write for some shit over there. Like I can make things hilarious. Just saying. But final statement I want to say before I cut out for the night. David Silverstone, Custody Ian Brockus, asshole. Thank you.
Got him. Who's David? I don't know what we just. That's Kush Waffles, everybody.
Kush Waffles, everybody.
He's
Please
back.
enjoy.
He's back. He's Kush Waffles.
I'm glad he's doing better. I hope
I did wonder where he'd been.
Yeah.
Actually, to tell you the truth. I was like, I haven't heard from Kush Waffles in a while.
Yeah.
I thought he was just another person that
just floated
out
away
of the life. Yeah.
No, but he's back in a big way. Thank you for calling in Kush Waffles. For people that don't know, Kush Waffles is legendary.
I wish I could find any alien ant farm stories about them being assholes, but there's
you can't find any.
I'm not seeing.
I made that up.
Search terms? What search terms are you supposed to? Would you search for? I can't figure out. Let's take one more call.
Maybe I was wrong. Not so smooth criminals.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
All right, we gotta do the show.
Let's do one more call.
Really?
And then take a break. Yeah, I think. How many we got? Don't say it out loud. Just give me that. Yeah, let's do one more and then go to break.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Yo, this is Ian in Philly.
Howdy.
What's up, Ian? How's it going in Philly?
It's pretty good. Yeah, just I don't know. I got a hypothetical. I've been mulling this over. A little grift if anyone's so inclined. Takes a little startup money, but I've been thinking about specifically like a culturally conservative fast food place.
Okay,
yeah.
You want to open one?
Well, Chick-fil-A.
Not me. I mean, if someone does,
it is.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Chick-fil-A,
they sold
barbecue, out. They kind of soft pedal it.
They did.
They're a little kind of on the positive side, but. I'm talking one that's more kind of the aggro. If you have really angry mascot. You know, like a lot of like
Like some
like fast food
AOC,
mascots are like smiling, friendly. You know,
like an anti-AOC dish,
Like a
you know
Mission
what I mean?
Barbecue, but in the fast food realm.
And just going in heavy, not like Mission Barbecue.
Yeah.
He's talking like, you know, you do the memes, the
Okay.
mean shit you read on Safe
They'll have
Space and Buttercup Ranch. You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about?
it's pretty much like, yeah, it's like if you put like when you put like a negative filter over a picture and it's all like weird and like sinister.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
just that if you took like a regular restaurant and then just made everything like just
Sinister.
ramped up about being like unwelcoming and like just about pissing off people who like don't like it, you know?
Yeah, it'll
More
just
than,
be like $2
really
for
being pleasant to go to.
$2 for a scoop of ground beef in your hand to piss off fucking vegans.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd be a billionaire because those people, all they eat,
Bacon,
first of all,
bacon bombs.
Yeah.
They would just, or they could just build like a bacon
Yeah.
house where they like do lattice work and kind of just braid it all together to make four sides of like a gingerbread house, but it's all made of fucking bacon.
Yo, God, they go nuts for it, dude.
Yeah.
You're right, though. You are
Dude, but
right.
then you don't eat it, you just throw it away.
Like a filthy, like a fucking. That's the sloppy Joe
Dirty
plan
dicks,
would go.
but conservative.
So you're talking like
Salt-
dick last
salty,
resort.
salty attitudes, bad food, and we don't give a shit.
See, I sort of see it another way, though.
Yeah.
Right? Like my vision is a place that is basically has the layout and the vibe of a McDonald's, right? But the employees
Yeah.
have to be super nice to you, always smile. They never say no problem. They always say you're welcome.
Yep.
And the
yeah.
food is named after, you know, you'll have your freedom fries. You'll have your like Chuck Schumer chicken shit burger. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And like,
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
I see what.
Yeah.
But you're saying more respectable. I imagine like some just real down and dirty place where you can go to.
where they're cursing at you and stuff like that.
But you're right. The ideal fast food restaurant where
For
the
them.
employees shut up and take orders and the customer's always right.
Yes, and like the manager will always come up there. You never like all the employees are a manager, so that every person you're talking to is the manager.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And like the tagline could be like, "I'd like to see your manager." So
Yes.
like every single time you go and order, and at the
Yeah.
end you'd be like, "Yep, that sounds about right." And I'd like to see your manager, and the manager would turn around and like give you a pistol gun, like a finger
well,
gun.
like a real gun. He'll
Yeah.
hold a real.
He'll hold
gun.
a real gun at
Yeah,
you.
everybody's
Like
got to
that's
be
the manager
carrying,
right there.
You know.
CC, yeah, concealed carry for everyone.
Well, no, open carry. You want to open carry.
open, sorry.
You want somebody filling your drink with an AR-15 like on their back,
Hanging
like,
from them.
just working. You know. Oh God, we should do
yeah.
a pop up and just make
could
a couple
take-
mil real quick. and
Yeah,
then-
we could divert that money in a very meaningful way.
Yeah, dude, you could.
Yeah.
They would travel to go to a place like that. You know what
We
I
could
mean?
hire people with COVID to work at the place so
Yeah.
that they could infect all the people that go there and eat.
And no masks,
Oh, yeah.
except no.
Yeah,
we
it'd be
gotta
like
do-
one of those. You gotta like set it like one of those places like along like just a long like desolate highway where there's nothing in like 50 miles in either direction. So it becomes like a big like destination.
It's cheap. It's
Yeah.
like a cheap real estate. You get like cheap real estate, and then you just like
So
you
what's
pay. You pay for travel and just a little bit of cash to get like a Chad Prather or like a one of those guys to come out there and record their podcast from there.
Yeah.
Once, right? On the pop up.
Oh, yeah.
At the grand opening, you get a famous conservative person to do something there, like they
Yeah.
attempted with Parlor, and then you just keep it open for a month, and people will drive the bikers for Trump will drive their stupid motorcycles there, and like
Yeah, you could have signs that say like, "If you don't like your steak well done, well, I guess you're done here."
yeah. Well, you can also
Yeah.
rare. They
don't-
also a lot of them will be
That's
like
young guys though.
yeah, I'll bite the side of a cow. That's something
So
I'd
either
say.
so that will say we either serve all of our meat is either served raw or well done.
yeah.
There's no pussyfooting around here. or
No,
something.
none. It's you and French fries or freedom fries and what drinks? Like, are they at war with any
Milk.
of the company? Milk.
Bud Light.
That's true.
It'd
Milk.
be like just like a lot of soda when like whenever there's like a soda tax or like a ban on something. It's
Knee
like,
high grape or something.
you know, just anything that they think they're not like allowed to drink, like that, like you know, liberals are trying to ban or something.
Yeah, Coke.
Yeah.
It's Coke because Pepsi is the lib company. I'm sure Coke is the lib company. Every
yeah.
company's a lib company now. But like,
yeah.
also, you know, you take a little bit from Mission Barbecue where you play the national anthem every
Once
hour.
an hour, yeah.
And like, the employees say the Pledge of Allegiance instead of, you know, have a nice day. You know what
Like
I'm saying?
as you're leaving, they
Yeah.
just start saying it.
Yeah, well, okay, like at Arby's, right? If you ever go in an Arby's, if you go indoors, as you walk out, there's a bell. And it
Yes.
says, ring this bell if you've had good service. And then everybody has to say thank you.
Got it.
Like maybe just ring this
There's a-
bell if you want to hear the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah, if you're proud of this country.
Yeah, it'd be like in like a Cold Stone, you know, and like whenever you tip, they have to sing like a song or something. It'd be like you just have like a repertoire of like patriotic songs.
Yeah,
There's,
Proud
like,
to be
different things for,
American.
like different levels of like tips or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, definitely like Proud to be American.
You got a brilliant entrepreneurial
just
mind
like-
on you.
Let's do this.
I'll invest. I'll come
Yeah.
out. We'll do the
I
opening.
feel like the main overhead would be like disposables, because like one of the main things would have to be that like you just give out like way too many like plastic straws.
True.
for, like,
Napkins. You
plastic,
just fucking,
like plates or utensils and stuff.
each customer just gets a fucking stack of napkins. Because
yeah.
back in my most...
extra straws.
Yeah. Back in my days where I was like more conservative minded, more reactionary, I'd go to the store and like I'd be like whomp, and,
Yeah.
like just, you know, a whole
When
Yeah.
you're like pulling them out of the dispenser one
Yeah.
at a time, and your hand just keeps going.
I got my own ketchup at home, but I still take so much ketchup as I'm leaving. Like Taco Bell hot sauce, just buy the fucking
Not LD in the chat. Small drink, 64 ounces.
yes, they do got to be big, yeah,
Everything's got to
definitely.
be big.
yeah, because they love those buckets.
Yeah, you got to have a handle on most of that stuff.
Yeah, they love that shit. I love
That's a
this
great idea. I think it works. No one is doing it. You know, Chick-fil-A tried to walk it back. They were like, we got rid of that hateful guy. The board is
Oh,
like
and they gave-
LGBT friendly and shit.
they
And-
gave to an LGBT charity.
Oh
That's,
yeah, as soon as you like, yeah, it's like a game of chicken where like as soon as like they kind of walk it back like any bit, like the customer base is just like it's almost like a swarm of bees in search of like a new hive, you know, where they have to find a more
Yeah.
like purely like spiteful restaurant to go to.
yeah. I love this idea.
I think we got something.
I
here.
think there is
this
something
is lightning in
here.
a bottle.
Yeah.
God, if me and Brett were making
And like the beauty is like, I mean, you know, one of the best parts is that like it really doesn't matter at all what the food is like, because it's more like going there is like a performance against someone. So
It's
like, it
political
doesn't really matter if they have like
you
good
could-
food or not. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's just about pissing other people off. So like,
Yeah, I'll just
if they
be,
have like shit food, it wouldn't matter.
I'll record a promo video where I'll be like, I'm the CEO of Gunshot Coffee, and I wouldn't have it served anywhere else but here, you know, at this restaurant. And I'll talk about how proud I am of the coffee and how Americans die for freedom, Blue Lives Matter, and I could do a whole fucking media package for you and
Yeah.
just get people in there.
yeah. I'm looking it up.
Yeah,
Goya, you could have a Goya to drink. They'll just pop a can of Goya to drink.
Yeah, just the beans.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah, they love that. I'm looking up.
Yeah, I mean, the place would also become like a museum of like old grudges too, because the Goya thing's gonna be like
Yeah.
2 or 3 weeks. No one's gonna really remember, but they have to like. It's almost like once it's in there, you have to like quietly phase it out, or else just like keep it in like 2025, and like people will still be like, "Why is Goya like?"
I mean, you-
It'll be
a
like the
steakhouse,
Mick. It'll
really
be
big
like the
on the scene.
McRib. So like in 20 years from now, you're like, oh yeah, I remember we were all drinking Goya. I'd love to tip back a can of Goya for old time's sake.
yeah.
I mean, you could seriously at this place,
Yeah.
you could sell frozen pizzas and like the big ass bacon cheeseburgers that you get in the frozen food section, and you would. I mean, it
The
could
bomb do-
literally be. It could actually be just the food they have at the Speedway gas station, and they would like be excited to
Yeah.
go there and eat.
If it says, it's like it says the bomb double XL, and it's literally the bomb double XL that you've seen at the gas station. We just put it on parchment paper with a side of chips.
Yeah, we could totally.
Yeah.
You would make like a big check.
Yeah, I think this idea is kind of it's almost overripe, you know, because it's like I feel like as soon as something like this opened, it would like take off. Partly just because like we're deep enough into like woke corporate Twitter accounts where it's like Wendy's girl being like Black Lives Matter like tweets and stuff. But like
spiteful eating is a huge market.
Like the public face of all their like fast foods.
Yeah, I mean, all this stuff is a big market, really.
Yeah, spiteful eating is huge this year. People love to pay money to do something to make someone else mad.
It's huge this year.
Yeah.
I think you're onto something.
You have, like,
you know what you're doing.
Epic Mealtime guys come through.
Oh, yes.
Like a special event with just like 6 pounds of like bacon.
Yeah,
they can... like no one eats it, just goes in the trash. But like, yeah, just making it for spectacle.
It's Bacon House. Why? Because we can. Fuck you.
Yeah, that is
$40. It's a whole fucking house. It's a whole McMansion made of fucking bacon.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, it'd be like the McDonald's like play place, but just all made of like meat, and just have your kids like slide down like a pastrami slide, and like I mean, I mean, as long as it like doesn't get eaten,
Yeah, and like it's just like Fox News on all the TVs.
Like, here's something interesting. You can get 2 pounds of bacon served on a baguette at this brand new drive-through restaurant. It's a hit.
Yeah. Well, thanks for calling. This is a great idea, and we're gonna do it.
Someone's gonna take it.
Oh yeah, no.
Sorry, you got scooped.
Yeah, I mean, this is up for any listeners and anyone who has the means to make it happen.
Well, when you're in the
doing a good thing, you'd be doing a lucrative thing.
Yeah, and someday when you're in the gutter and somebody made it rich off our idea, you're gonna really just regret that you didn't act on it. But I appreciate appreciate your reserve. Like, you definitely didn't take the opportunity to bring more badness into the world, even though you could have made so much money off of it. So for that, I salute you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can sleep at night.
Yeah, that's important. It's important because otherwise it's tough. Well, thank you for that. You got a Twitter or anything you want to shout out, or like an Etsy? Do you do like steel work or anything?
Steel worker.
I'm a woodworker. I mean, I make cabinetry, but not for myself. Just like. For my boss, so I'm not plugging that. I don't have anything to plug.
All right.
Well, thanks for calling in.
Thank
you had the best
woodworker.
plan.
Yes.
Who else is a woodworker? Jesus Christ.
That's true.
Nazareth.
The original woodworker.
Whom I love, actually. Big Jesus Christ
You've
guy.
accepted him into your heart?
Yeah, I have. Actually.
Shit. Satan has brought so much to me. So many great debaucherous things into my life.
You should watch it, my dude.
You know what's funny is I started watching NASCAR on Thursday because Formula 1 is off this week, and I was immediately pissed because they do a fucking prayer before NASCAR.
Yeah,
like when I watched Formula 1, they kneeled for Black Lives Matter and then played like the Austrian national anthem on the side of a mountain with like fucking lederhosen on and shit. And then I tuned in my first NASCAR, and they did a fucking prayer, and then they had like this just, they had somebody sing the national anthem, and it ruined me.
Yeah, that'll get you, dude.
But
let's hit our break.
At the same time, Formula 1 has like Mercedes and like Rolex as advertisers, and I've never really driven or used any of those products. But in NASCAR, there was like a Bush Beans car. Went flying through the fucking air. This brown ass ugly car that said Bush's Beans on the side. And then this Kroger car caught on fire from the inside, dude.
The Kroger.
The Kroger's car was on fire. And I was like, I don't know. I'm something about this. I like seeing Bush Beans and Kroger's on fire. So maybe I'm a NASCAR fan. Maybe I've been converted. We are going to take a break. We'll be back after the break. If you're in the queue, we will get to you. The number to dial, not tonight, is 614-655-3887. We'll see you in a few. This is my choice, actually. This isn't a Street Fighter or anybody else to send this in. This is Undeath from Rochester, New York. I fucking love them. They're so good. Enjoy. Hey everybody, welcome back to Street Fight Radio. We did not play the music. You aren't crazy if you didn't hear the music. But we will save it for next week. Otherwise, check out Undeath. I'm a big fan of what they do and have been listening to them quite a bit. We are taking calls tonight, but we have a queue that is full. We have enough people in here to take us out for the rest of the night. Sorry if you get dropped or whatever happens. It's a weird system and my internet is still a little in and out. So thank you for being here, of course. If you want more Street Fight Radio, you can donate to the show. You know, your $5, $10 goes to helping us spread this mess across the U.S., continue to do this, pays for, you know, the whole organization and us trying to get more people involved in politics and get involved with what we do. Head to patreon.com/Street Fight Radio for $5 a month. You get access to our premium audio streams. So that's like Shocktober, Teen Fight Radio, March Madness, Holy Boys. Brian and I are starting a new series called 100 Million Tons of Steel. That's our heavy metal premium show. So that's available at patreon.com/Street Fight Radio. We're going to talk to Minion Death Cult. We got somebody from Power Trip. We got Paulo from Trivium. There's going to be a lot of amazing guests and interesting people that we're going to talk to on our bonus content feed on patreon.com. We've also got the parenting zine is coming in the next week or two. The metal zine, the war zine, that's all happening. And if you want to contribute to what we do pay creators for art, comics, and writing. Head to streetfightradio.com, and at the very top of the page, there is a link that says zine submission, and you can pitch us on your idea for content for the zine. Right now, the content we're looking for is dare, war, activism, staying indoors or quarantine, alcohol, renting, landlords, mortgages and homelessness, religion, anarchist history, self-care, and being an outsider. So if you have anything to contribute to those, head to streetfightradio.com/zine-submission or just streetfightradio.com. You'll see it right at the top. And if you want to read that content, that's available at the Patreon. So we've got the bonus audio, we've got zines, and then we recorded a bonus video content earlier this week. On Wednesday, we watched the TV show Tough as Nails, where they pit blue-collar workers against each other for things like finding an alternator in a junkyard or pulling a tire off of a rim. And that's available on patreon.com/streetfightradio. So Brian is back. I don't have to fill time anymore. You ready to take more calls?
I am ready to take more calls. For the listeners, I'm trying to find food to eat, and the government said that everybody has to close by 11.
Yeah.
So I might be a touch distracted for a few minutes, but I'll be ready.
All right, let's see who's on the line. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, is this me?
Yep.
You would know.
Hey, how's it going? This is Brandon over in Arizona.
What's going on?
Hey, so I work at a small moving company, and it's just like 4 full-time employees and like a couple like part-time employees. And my boss is an absolute moron who like lives in Alaska and just like answers phone calls and takes 80% of the profit. And, well, we get like 20% for doing literally all of the work. And so I convinced the 3 other full-time coworkers to start a co-op.
Yeah.
So we're just thinking about, I mean, that was this week. So I'm just wondering like what you guys think about that, like a moving company co-op.
So the plan
like what are the steps? And
so the plan would be for all of you to join together and take on the jobs, and then split the money evenly instead of having it to go all to one guy that just knows how to get the jobs.
Yeah, exactly. So the plan is like 50% of every job that gets like billed hourly goes directly to the workers, 50% goes to business costs like insurance, vehicle maintenance, that kind of stuff. And then whatever's left after savings goes back to the workers as a bonus every month.
Yeah, I love it. It makes sense to me. It seems like an obvious thing to do. It's not, I don't think it's an easy route for anybody to take. But if you're certainly willing to do it, drumming up business is challenging, but worth the risk. And I think it sounds like a good chance to take. I mean, I like it so far. Do you have an idea of how you're going to like get clients and everything?
Yeah, I mean, my girl says that she's down to answer phone calls, and she's really good with like, websites and advertising, stuff like that. And one of the guys is also like a marketing major. We're all in college right now, but three of us are vets, so I know we could get a pretty good business.
Oh, yeah.
And then
you're great. You're golden.
Yes, yeah. So we were just thinking about just keeping working here until like springtime, because business is super slow during the winter time anyway. And then just get started on advertising, and I think we could push my boss out of business the first day. So.
Yeah, I love this idea.
Yeah,
I mean, you
dope.
see the opportunity. It sounds like you have a good skill set. As long as everybody can get together. Some things like this require a lot of sweat equity and a lot of extra time that you don't realize up front what you're getting into. Yeah, but the payoff is big. Like having ownership of your work feels way more. You get way more gratification out of something like that. Versus being defeated because you saw 80% of the money go to somebody else. So yeah, this seems like a good way to disrupt it. Like you don't have to change the world, you don't have to do anything, you're just working on territory. There's a certain amount of people in your area that need this service, so you're just trying to work your way in there and get that business instead, which is, it doesn't require any sort of specialized training to do so. A lot of people do contact setting, and just get paid $10 an hour or whatever it is. So all of this stuff is in place, and it's like a lot of the bullshit jobs I did. If we all got together and made our own company, like the skills are there. It's easy to replicate this kind of thing because people do just want somebody to come move their shit for them. Like they don't really give a fuck how it's done for the most part.
Yeah, or who's doing it. Like if they're
and
ordering, if they're not going with like Mayflower or something like that, it's not like if there's a moving company that has like this great reputation out there that's like,
well, and if you can get somebody to pay you to move them, and then they say good things about you, that's enough to like spread the seed to get it going. No, it's not going to be easy early on, but it's definitely a doable thing. I think it makes sense. Like it makes sense to be spending at least some of your time working on this instead of just trying to get money or to collect a check, because this seems like it could be something that pays off more in the long run. And then you can also find stuff for the winter as well. I mean, you got a bunch of good people around you. You could find something to keep yourself busy during the winter. Another problem to solve.
Yeah. Snow removal is a big thing here.
Yeah. I mean, you what you're doing is you're a crew. You have 6 people that are willing to solve manual labor problems, and you just have to find a way to get your footing and make it organized. Because it's not that you're unwilling to do the work, it's just that everybody that's paying isn't doing you justice.
What's the plan for getting the equipment and stuff?
I mean, I have a 2,500 truck right now that I'm going to donate, and the trailer's like $3,000, and then insurance is going to be a lot.
Yeah.
So I mean, just
just
playing that, and then I'm just not sure about like the legal stuff and like applying for business loans and stuff like that. I know you have to have at least 6 people for a co-op.
Yeah, I mean, my advice, like when we started the show and everything, was that we never really bit off more than we could chew. There's things that you could do if you had like the expensive equipment or the right situation. But if you can build a foundation of doing quick and easy jobs that make you money, that's a great way to start taking, like you said, half goes to the co-op, half goes to the workers. Once you can find something quick and dirty that pays the bills and gets a lot of money flowing into the co-op, then you have the proud moment of everybody getting together and saying, hey, we built this big fucking giant egg of money. What do we spend it on? You know, like we've done enough work over the summer to get a few $1,000s together. Where would that be best spent? So I think it sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's especially because you have the thing that you need, which is the people doing the labor. You're willing to do the work.
Yeah. And it's one of those things you can walk away from it. It's like they're going to pay us $600 to move this thing. We all do it and it falls apart and we hate each other and don't want to work together anymore. Everybody gets cash and walks away. It's not like you don't have to invest too much of like your creative endeavors or much of anything besides just getting work done. Like the finding the work is going to be the issue with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. And also, like, just like the incentive to like not break shit and keep the equipment like well taken care of is also there, because like that's your money. Like it's, you know, if there's extra costs and you're not going to get that bonus at the month, neither is anybody else. So.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
we've all thought it. I mean,
Yeah.
and I think if you're at the time in your life, I mean, how are you? You're younger. You said you were in college and stuff.
Yeah.
This is the time.
Yeah, mid 20s.
Yeah.
Are
this
you
is
working
this
for
is time
college?
to go broke.
Are you working for college hunks moving junk?
Yeah.
What?
Really?
Are you working for? Yeah. I don't know if you heard of Brian.
Yeah.
Yo, that's the one. Wow.
That's cool. I like the name of that company.
No. I'm sorry, I misheard you. No,
It's
it's
all
a
right.
different. It's like a family-run company. It's like it's like the son of like a dude, like some Christian dude who like owns like big storage facility. It's nepotistic all throughout.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that like right now is the time to take risks. You know, if you don't have a kid or a family depending on you, you can go broke and try something that, you know, you don't have to, it doesn't have to be what you do for the rest of your life, but it will be very informative. Yeah. And, you know, a part of doing Street Fight and what we did when we started it was that, like, I'd done customer service before and I knew how to do spreadsheets and I knew how to do all the business things. Like, I never had my own business and they never put me in charge of it, but I had been next to people and I had soaked up all of these skills of, you know, retention and how to make things work. And if there's a collective of 6 of you that you know have a good head on your shoulders, there's no reason you can't make that work. You know, a lot of great things come out of people that just know what they're doing. You know, like, and being determined and making this. You have to make the decision to do it.
I'll say this too. I mean, I don't think it'll be hard once you're even a tiny bit established to be like, hey, we're a fucking co-op, man.
Yeah.
You know, you'll love working here. You're the boss.
Yeah, and it is.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
the same way we just talked about conservative fast food. There's certainly a marketplace to be completely cynical about it, but to advertise yourself as a co-op, I think will get you a lot of respect in a lot of communities. You know.
No slaves, no masters. They all like that.
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it just does feel like we are like slaves to this dude who's just sitting on his ass, well, you know, just answering phones, and that's it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the most important move, really, when it comes to a job, is like, once you realize that they ain't doing nothing, then it just becomes about convincing the other people there that they're not doing anything.
Yeah.
Because I know that, like,
yeah, for sure.
We used to talk about it all the time at the cable company about how, you know, our bosses just answer emails all day while we're out climbing poles and shit. And it was just like, man, if we could cut them out, you know, we'd have a nice little thing. I think it's great. I'm for it.
Yeah, it seems like very smart move. It's an easy need to solve. It's a great experiment that you don't have to put too much money into. If you've already got your big bad truck, like, you're good to go, and you have the workhorse, the people willing to do it. Like, yeah, I love it. I give it my blessing. I think it's great. Feel free to message
That's awesome,
me.
man. I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, just feel free to message or ask any questions to me. I will get back to you, no problem. Just let me know if you need any advice or insight on anything.
That's dope. Thanks, dude.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for calling in.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, have a good one.
Yeah, and let us know when you launch, man. You gotta let us know when you launch.
Yeah.
I'll put that word out.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Peace. Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, that's in times like this that are a crisis, there is a point where you just have to come up with something different. You going and getting $8 an hour isn't going to put you in a better position.
I mean, moving companies are especially.
I wish
fucked
Jason
up.
was here. When Jason was here, we could have went for a long time on.
I mean, they're especially fucked up, man, because those guys are really breaking their bodies.
No, it fucks you up
tearing their
forever.
bodies apart, and usually aren't making a lot of money, and usually don't have health insurance.
Well, they're making though. I mean, yeah, from what Jason says, it's $5 more than minimum wage or something.
Yeah.
For somebody that's willing to carry stuff up and down the stairs all day long, they can get you close to 15. But you're, like you said, you're an independent contractor and you don't have benefits, and you're not going to be able to get FMLA or anything like that.
Especially when you say you're saying, oh, they'll carry all your stuff up and down the steps. Jason worked for a place that moved fucking pianos into high rises and shit. So it's like that is a job that, I mean, you should be able to do that job like a football player until you're like 45 and be set for life.
Yeah, I think under 40 is good enough.
Yeah,
for me.
you know what I mean though. That should be the type of job where they prepare you for the rest of your life after you've done it.
I mean, I picture it in a different way where I just think you could move into something else. Like, I think in a perfect world, when you have the ability to move stuff, you move stuff. And then once you're out, you should be able to find, another way to serve everybody.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
we're talking
for sure.
utopian shit. But
yeah,
you're right. I mean, just working at the warehouse with some of the older people that worked at the warehouse with me, and they would talk about how they couldn't turn their hands over. Like, their hands were stuck like this. Their wrists were fused in place to the point where they couldn't turn them over. Like, they literally could not put out their hands to receive from you. Their hands were stuck. And it was just like, we're not getting enough. I don't think that giving up the use of my back. I mean, I blew out my back. That's where my back problem started, was at that warehouse. My dad has the same fucking back problems from working at a fucking steel refinery. So all of this stuff, they demand that we trade in our physical health for cash, and it's not enough cash.
Yeah. I mean, anybody who's worked because that was the roofing job and the cable job for me, seeing what it did to people's bodies. It just twists them up, man.
Yeah.
It's hard life, And the other thing is the cable company's the easiest of the jobs. And there were people that were getting, their backs torn out, their knees fucked up and all that stuff. So yeah. I mean, they should get a lot more. People who do that kind of work should get a lot more.
Absolutely. Next call?
Yep.
We got a lot to go. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hi, this is James in Pittsburgh.
What's up, James? How's it going?
Good. I called a while back because my mom was trying some gardening jobs and had that boomer experience of what that job market's like.
Yeah?
But hey, the conversation from the first caller made me thinking of just when you're arguing about stuff that doesn't need to be argued, and you're trying to convince someone of something that don't need convinced. Or just picking your fights for internet arguments. It got me thinking recently. I had some friends that were just arguing about I thought you told me to do this, and it's no, I said do that. I heard you say do this.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true. I said do that, and I'm just it doesn't why are we arguing about that? Who cares what you said the last time? There was a miscommunication, and then we can just continue on. No one has to be right about what you had said.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I've been in those fights where neither person wants to give up, and nobody comes out better on the other end of it,
Yeah. And it's
it just, it's not the same thing to me as when somebody's talking from their experience, like as a woman or non-binary, pal, or trans person or anything, and someone's like, well, actually, it's like this. And they're like, motherfucker, I'm telling you about my experience. You're going to disprove what I'm seeing and hearing?
Yeah.
And is that the hill you want to die on?
Yeah, it's I mean it's tough. There's things that like sometimes you feel like you're being cutesy or that it's not, you just think you're being devil's advocate or something, and it really isn't coming across. And there's been plenty of people that are like, there's been plenty of women in the group that have said like you're being an asshole, and guys just insist that they're not, and it's like, but I mean, we got to go with what the group is saying.
Well,
here.
when somebody says you're an asshole, you're being an asshole,
Yeah.
irregardless, because it's kind of like they have
To them.
perceived you as an asshole.
Right. And it doesn't mean you are forever, and it doesn't make you a bad person. Doesn't make you a horrible person, but like also I am an asshole. I do asshole stuff all the time. I have to apologize for asshole things that I do. And so but part of that is just like when someone says it, it's like, you know what? I have that tendency. I've heard that before. This is something to take in. Like that, I don't have to disprove you or anything. Like this is a moment for me to just find something else to do because, this woman has indicated that like she's heard enough of this, or knows where I'm going. It's
What you said, I don't have to prove you, is a thought that a lot more dudes especially ought to be having about like when they feel the urge to argue something. It's just like, do I need to 7 paragraphs on this now?
Is this going to change somebody's mind?
7 paragraphs is the new like hashtag. Like if you're going to pull a 7 paragraphs, because I write 7 paragraphs, and then when I go and read through it for like the 100th time to make sure that it's like airtight, I'm like, oh no, I'm fucking crazy. Shit, I shouldn't have wrote 7 paragraphs, and I delete it.
Yeah.
That's an article. 7 paragraphs is an article about something that you're trying to write.
Yeah.
People are sending op-eds in the Facebook group.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I just always think like if somebody is unhappy with me for saying something, then I probably might have been an asshole.
Yeah,
and I'm just gonna take. It's not taking an L. It's seeing who you are and what you're doing.
Yeah.
And moving on. We all move on.
This is a place for everybody to congregate, and like, it's not. It's if someone's like, hey, don't say that. You're like, all right, I get it, cool. Just like keep on rocking in the free world. Right?
It's not like an official cancellation. I guess.
Yeah.
Thing,
because the opposite of that mindset is the person who immediately becomes that Skinner from the Simpsons meme, where it's like, is it true? Like, could I be the asshole? No, it can't be. It's you that's wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like that though. Like a lot of times if I get corrected on something in my mind, I'm like, oh fuck that. You know what I was getting at. But then I'm like, but I must not have delivered it correctly. So there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel to me also with like it's kind of like my therapist told me that like you have to just make a decision about how you're going to feel about something. And if someone really pushed your buttons and everything and you're like, I want to be unfair about that, you need to like acknowledge that and just be unfair to them inside your head or to yourself, or like vent to one of your friends or something and say, hey, this person was really, I like this person online like really fucking made me mad and I felt like I was misunderstood or whatever. But when it comes to like actually interacting with the people, like we have to give each other the longest bit of slack. There's no reason to assume that like there's no reason to go at anybody like that. And like when you are so revved up online, you have to acknowledge that you're choosing to do this, because I can go online and not get all charged up and I can get not triggered by all of this stuff, but then I can also go cruising for a fight whenever I want to. And you have to just really be able to step back and know what you're doing and what you're looking for and what your headspace is. Sometimes like I'm in the mood to just to ruin somebody's fucking day. And when I know that, that's when I'm like, I need to delete all my comments tonight because the only thing I want to do is fucking punch someone in the face tonight.
Yeah, for sure.
Thinking about like internet arguing people, it's the kind of dude that's like they identify as being really wrapped up in like logic and reason, and I'm like, I'm sensible. I don't let emotions get in the way, and then they're just blinded to the way that their emotions are guiding everything they're doing and unable to reflect on it.
Yeah, I mean that's how. I mean, I'm very emotional, so I always admit that I have a very thin skin and I get very emotional.
So I just had anyway, aside from all the rhetoric of arguing, I just had a simple work-related sort of hypothetical question for you guys to think, not a hypothetical, but who do you think in any of your past jobs, like, you could imagine may have a vendetta against you, like that you wronged in some way? Like, I was just thinking about a job I had where I was teaching abroad. It was a short-lived type thing, and I bailed out of it really hard, really quick because of mental health things. But anyway, one of the other English-speaking teachers at this teaching English abroad thing was a nice dude. And by me just totally bitching, I think I fucked up him and his contracts and his plans to move to another city or something, because he was the only then English-speaking teacher left at the school. They were stuck. So I either screwed this dude over really hard, or I may have screwed over the school really, really hard. And it just makes me think, like, what if you're walking down the street someday and there's that dude, and you don't know how he's been percolating on how you affected his life, and you just feel like, oh, I recognize that guy. But to him, it's on site, and he's coming for you.
I think about that a lot. I actually do think about, like, people who I tangentially, maybe even separated by one person, that hate me because of some horrible fucking thing I've done in the past. I can't think of any specific things. I've never, you know, what I would think that I've done is, so when you work at a cable company, half of the people who do the jobs are contractors, and the other half are in-house workers. And the contractors are given like a sort of insurmountable amount of work to get done in a day, like quadruple what the in-house workers are. And sometimes they do pretty bad work.
Yeah.
And you would get out to the job, and then you would end up having to do the whole fucking thing because they fucked it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so what you would do is you would do a thing called a chargeback, which then the company would then charge the contractor, not the specific contractor person out of their check, but they would charge the company back for what they paid to get that done. And who knows what happens when it gets in the company. I don't really know that, because they kept us apart all the time. We didn't talk to the contractors. I never knew a single one. And I did fill out chargebacks. I would get very mad because somebody fucked up and I had to go and clean up their mess, and I would fill out chargebacks. And like, I still to this day, I'm like, why did I even fucking do that? I probably got somebody fired. You know, I was probably like the straw that broke the camel's back a few times, you know? And like this version of me wouldn't do it, but that version of me just was like, fuck this, man. I don't want to do this guy's work.
Right.
You know?
He fucked up.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm curious about. If you were the straw that broke the camel's back and he got fired, like, what if you haven't thought about that dude in a while, but he's, you know, carving your face into like wooden boards?
It is. I mean,
that's good. That's motivation. He has motivation. He has a reason to live in spite of Brian.
Yeah, he can come and find me. I dare that motherfucker. Listen. Here's what I would do.
I don't have one. I don't.
Here's what I would do if somebody like that existed and they came looking at me. I'd fight them. I would just straight up. I would be like, I wouldn't throw the first punch. I'm saying
you're gonna lose.
If I know
you get your ass kicked.
No. I'm not opposed to throwing the first punch. Let me explain what I'm saying. Is that like if this. Let's just, for an example, this dude that I got fired, right? He wants to kick my ass, okay? And he gets in contact with me, and he says, you got me fired from my job. I want to kick your ass.
Yeah.
I'd meet him somewhere and fight him. And if he kicked my ass, he would...
Earned.
He kicked my ass, and if he doesn't kick my... He got what he wanted out of the deal.
That's
you know
true.
what I mean?
That's true.
And
Satisfaction is important.
I would do that. I don't want to die. I don't want to like duel somebody. But if somebody wants to, you know,
Headgear.
toss some haymakers at me, let's fucking just do it and get it out of the way.
Headgear and gloves, no hitting when they're on the ground.
I'm big on like if somebody feels like they would get it would give them satisfaction or make them feel better to whip my ass, then
You'd give them that?
I do. I do.
Wow,
feel that
you
way.
are so accommodating.
Well, I would fight them. I wouldn't just let them beat me up. They would have to fight.
Yeah, no one wants the easy win. They want to feel like
Yeah.
they want to feel like you gave your all.
I feel like that's fair, though. I feel like that's a fair thing if you hurt somebody. Like, if you really hurt somebody to the point where they want to fight
They deserve
you.
a fight?
No, yeah.
You think everybody should get a fight?
So I think I screwed up this dude's whole stuff, his job or whatever.
Yeah.
And I've always felt very bad about it. I would apologize to him, but like in abandoning this foreign country, I cut off all contact and just sort of hid away. I was fucked up at the time. My goodness.
Yeah.
But like,
you need your ass beat.
I wonder if he were like really mad at me. Yeah, I would let him kick my ass.
Yeah.
If he's trying to kill me, that's a different story. And we
Yeah,
gotta
no
actually
killing.
fight that.
No killing.
I think that if there should be like a contract that you could sign. Like, you go to the library, you pick up the forms, right? And you're just like, yeah, man, we're just gonna have a fight here.
I'm booking.
Yeah.
You're gonna fill out the application to book a fight to settle a deal.
Yeah.
And the other person has to agree to it, right?
Both of us would
Both
have
people
to
have to
agree
agree.
on
You
this.
say you
We
would
both
agree.
have to have the form.
Both of you say you would agree to it if somebody levied a cause for a street fight against you.
Yeah, I would like totally be okay with that because I do think like that I've probably done stuff in the past that I deserve to get my ass whooped for. Like people I was mean to in high school, they
Yeah.
should be allowed
to throw one punch and then be like, "Ow, that hurts my hand." That was fine.
Well, yeah, I
did
mean,
it.
you know.
Yeah, I cut my fucking hand open on your teeth.
Yeah, you know. I mean, like I would probably win some. You know,
Sure.
Like I think that if you're gonna get into fights like this, you're gonna lose some, you're gonna win some. That's sort of the way it is, and that like it's not like a macho thing at all. It's just that I'm willing to do that because I do hate when things aren't tied up at the end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's something about me that hates when things aren't tied up.
Wait, what do you want? You just want to fight? You just want? Come on, let's do it. Fine, let's settle this, and then we're done, and everybody can go their separate
Come on,
ways.
Pat, let's do push-ups.
That's how my wife.
let's do
Yeah,
pull-ups.
even push-ups I do. But even
Embarrass my ass publicly.
my wife, like when we argue, we have two separate styles, right? My wife simmers and just sits quietly and doesn't talk and doesn't want to
Cold
work it out.
shoulder.
All I want to do is have it. I just want to do the fight.
Okay.
And have it end. I want to escalate it to 10 so that it then ends
out.
and it's over.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like I always feel like when we're having, you know, trouble, when we're arguing and stuff like that, I always feel so pissed that she won't just give me the fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like just give me the fucking fight.
Dude, that's true.
And like
That's true. You can withhold the fight too. That's a way.
Yeah.
Like if you were to like, you know what? Actually, I didn't screw up your shoddy ass cable work. I don't think you deserve a fight.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I think just as a person, like if this was like sort of a contract situation, I just think that like giving somebody the final satisfaction of actually getting their hands on you seems like a small price to pay to
Yeah.
like clear up that like karmic debt.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that the Buddha would agree.
I mean, I've had my ass whipped multiple times in my life.
It is not.
It's
that,
not a
it's not
big
as bad.
fucking deal.
I mean, honestly, some of this protest riot stuff, like people can take a massive beating and
I know.
just be 3 days later back up like being an annoying shit posting troll on the internet.
I know. I mean, because
I've bounced my head off a tree root before. I've taken plenty of hits.
it's mosh pits. Like if you think about a mosh pit, like the whole thing is like you just go, and it's a roughly the same amount of activity spread out over a longer period of time as like a fight that two guys that don't know how to fight would have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Till one gets too embarrassed or too out of wind. Just like, God, fine. God damn it, stop. Stop.
Because that's
Give me a
90%.
second. Jesus.
Yeah, 90% of these fights
Yeah.
will be like 2 minutes long.
I didn't
and,
prep for this.
Yeah, 2 minutes long, both winded, no punches.
You're throwing
land.
dream punches, dog.
Yeah.
Like, you just throw them and they just bounce right off the person. You're like, what the fuck? I wanted to hit you so hard,
Like
though.
you're punching and you're going with your mouth too
Yeah.
as you punch. I knew guys that did that when they got into fights. They always lost.
I think it helps.
But they would just throw it in there too, and you're like, okay. But they always looked good. They're like fighting looked good. You know, when they got up there, they knew where to put their hands. They made the noises. They like kind of were able to throw the combos and shit. Problem is, if the other guy's not like playing along with, you can't.
They don't care about doing karate forms. I had a friend, the Crumpler, man, that like anybody that stepped to him, it would just be a couple throws and they'd be crumpled.
I like that. Yeah. I mean, that's that. I think that's how you would solve a problem like that.
Yeah.
Well, have a great night.
Well, yes, you too.
All right, later.
Peace.
Let's get this next
Yeah.
call. My pizza's gonna be here in like 3 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know if I have anybody. I don't think I mean I'd maybe just shut that out. That's part of my like winning strategy is like just don't think about the people you fucked over. But I don't think I did. I really can't think of anybody that there's no one that keeps me up at night. Managers I was an asshole to and I made them look bad, but my fellow employees I really was trying to get them to steal from work more for the most part was my motivation.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's get this next one.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight? Hello.
Yo, what up? It's Tofu from Denver.
What's up, Tofu? How's it going tonight?
I'm just trying to decompress a little bit. I had kind of a traumatic experience at Food Not Bombs, and I just kind of wanted to see if y'all had any opinions on if I should have handled anything different or what was going on.
Go for it.
Yeah, I'd love to hear.
Yeah, basically what happened, we've been setting up outside of just like encampments at this point because the city they've decided not to sweep anymore. So, at least for the time being because of COVID. So, we've just kind of been like popping up at random spots and being like, hey, y'all want a picnic? And, most people are pretty cool with it. So, we just pop up. It's only like 2 or 3 people at this point because we're trying to keep the, contact to everybody, and spreading anything low, So, we popped at a spot that we've been at, I think 1 or 2 times before. And everything was going good. We set up all of our food and, handed some plates out, and we were kind of getting in the groove, kind of how you usually do. And we saw someone coming down. They were coming to get a plate, and, we were kind of just like engaging them, asking them how they're doing. And then out of nowhere, somebody came with like the butt end of an axe and smacked them right in the fucking face.
Whoa.
And it was just kind of like, what the fuck? Like, my first thing was like, why here, man? Like, why are you blowing up the spot? But like the first thing that, me and the other person that was working the table, like the only thing we could do is just like walk away. We were like, what the fuck? Like the crack, like was like, so just like, it was weird. It was like nothing I've ever heard. And like, I'm a metal kind of dude. And like it just shocked me. It was just so weird. So, we just kind of like crossed the street because we were like, what the fuck? We didn't want to be involved in anything. I thought for sure that the dude that got hit had like like a broken radial or something, but they seemed to be okay. And they kind of just was like, what the fuck was that for, from what I can tell. And it sounded like exactly what that last call was. Like, it was like someone that they didn't know that was, mad at them and like kind of caught them slipping. But
oh no,
it was just like, yeah, we were just caught in the middle of it. We were absolutely in the middle of it. And we were just like, what the fuck do we do? So, I mean, we were just like, fuck, dude, we got to go. Like, I don't know what else to do. Like, so, everyone else was kind of like, all the other folks in the encampment were just kind of like, yo, what the fuck? Like, right here, like, these folks are kind of like helping everyone out and like giving food and like, you could have done this like after, like, anyway.
Yeah.
It wasn't really our business, but like, one of the, we walked back to serve the folks that were there, and then we're like, we're going to pack the fuck up and get out as quick as we can, because that person that hit them, their tent was like adjacent to our tables. So anything that we were like saying or like like they could like hear, and like it was just real awkward. And I just didn't. I don't know.
No, I mean, I think I give you the
fucking weird.
I'm going to give you the green light 100%. Like, I absolutely applaud what you're doing, and inserting yourself into that scenario and feeding people is certainly commendable. But if there's going to be fighting and stuff, there's no reason that we should put up with that. There's no reason to put up with that, and it's not your fault, and you aren't responsible or guilty of anything. But I think it's perfectly acceptable. And if you're not calling the police on people and they want to handle it within their own encampment, like that's their thing. Like we have other ways to change the world and to work on things, but I don't think that there's any reason that you should have been involved with that at all. And it's perfectly acceptable to just get out of there, I think.
Yeah, it just felt weird because I don't know. I feel like it probably wouldn't have happened if we wouldn't have set up right there, and like they wouldn't have crossed paths.
Really?
Potentially.
You think
that's the only thing that's really sitting? Well, because I mean, we kind of, there was a lull. So one of the folks went out and was like, "Yo, I'm gonna go round some folks up from around the corner and like, get them, and so like that's kind of what we do. We tell folks like, hey, there's food, like take a ride at this corner, and there's some tables set up. And, usually it's not usually ever a problem.
Yeah.
But, and then, it was just also kind of weird because, my friend that was one of the people that was helping, they looked at the person that did and was like, yo, you might not want to like, just like sit here. Like it might be a good idea to leave. Like, I think maybe offering advice, but I mean, I can see how that's perceived as like, yo, the cops are coming. And like, who would have called the cops? It's not. We didn't, but it could have been perceived as like now we're the people that are like on their front porch causing trouble because the cops could have come.
Yeah.
So that was like, dude, we just need to please leave. Like, can we please just get out of here? And we did, but I don't know. It was weird. I just had to talk about it with somebody. Honestly, some weird shit that I've never experienced especially during Food Not Bombs. It's usually a really positive thing.
You know what though? I mean,
but
but so many people like aren't willing to put themselves, like they aren't willing to open their hearts enough to put themselves at that kind of risk. And it's not gonna, like, what you're gonna find in the whole conversation about defunding the police is we see countless amounts of social workers and people that work with on the front lines of mental health and things like that and homelessness. They are dealing with way more than the cops ever have to deal with. And it's something we all need to get together. It needs to change. It needs to be a different world. But it's also something that I think you need to make sure that you're safe so that you can come back and do the work another day. There's no reason to be the bystander in somebody else's fucking fight,
No, yeah, you're totally right. You're totally right. I totally, that was probably the what I needed to hear. Cause I mean, I've just kind of been like, man, we shouldn't have camped there, but it's like, who is to know? You know what I mean?
It's all information. I mean, it's all information now. I mean, you know what it's like to be in the middle of that. Maybe you find a different place to do it. Maybe you adjust maybe you talk to the organizers about adjusting the strategy to make sure, things don't happen again.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's as simple as just like, I mean, I am kind of one of the people that does help organize, like, pick up the groceries or the donations and stuff regularly. So it's just really as simple as like, hey, let's not do that again. Like, let's go somewhere else,
Yeah.
So, it's definitely an easy fix, but it was just, something that was, like I said, it was just real traumatic and just didn't really sit right with me,
Yeah, I mean, you need to make sure that you talk to make sure you're allowed to feel afraid and you're allowed to feel threatened, and like you shouldn't like try to bottle it up and just be angry or mad or manly about it. Like, you should acknowledge all those feelings, but then let it inform you for the next time you're going out to do these things.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Well, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
hey, no problem.
Thanks for calling in. We appreciate it. Absolutely. Have a good one.
Yep. Y'all have a good night.
Peace.
All right, peace.
Oh, I'm so itchy, guys.
We're close.
Let's get him. Let's get him. I'm an itchy boy that hasn't eaten any food today.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey guys, how's it going? This is Brad Storch at Lima, Ohio.
Oh, what's up? How's it going? How's it going in Lima? I spent a week there once.
Oh, that's unfortunate. It's it ain't too bad. I mean, I'm not from here originally. I'm here going to law school, but
I was
you know, I mean, go ahead.
I was there because my buddy was going to college there at Northwestern College. It's a high performance vehicle college.
Ooh.
They also do diesel.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I had two buddies that enrolled there for the high performance, not the diesel.
Okay.
They called the diesel people diesel dummies.
Okay.
They wanted to work on
Yeah, oh, yeah.
They wanted
Race
high
cars.
performance.
Yeah.
You know? So
Drag
Oh
racing.
yeah, it's derogatory, but you know, I mean, that's yeah. Those guys, they're a tier above the others, right?
yeah. What's up, man?
So I got a little change of pace for you guys from the normal street fight fare, but I got a good boss story for you guys.
What?
We love
I
it.
hear it.
I'm a good boss.
We like
you
positivity
wouldn't believe it, but I'm
here.
a fucking great boss. I ham and haw over how much everybody is making. Like I literally sometimes I'll just get myself into the throes of depression because I ask people to do stuff and I can't pay them enough to do it, and it just makes me feel bad to go on tour and give like a couple $100 to somebody. And it's
Yeah.
like you deserve the fucking world.
Yeah. They understand though. So
I hear you. I hear you guys. That's you know, we're all trapped in this together, right?
Absolutely.
So what's up?
But yeah,
Let's hear about this good ass boss.
I worked. Go ahead.
No, let's hear about this good ass boss.
Oh, all right. So yeah, I used to work for the railroad as a freight car mechanic for 12 years. And I was
Impressive.
working out of Virginia at the time when this happened. And I'd like to preface this with that this is all hearsay. This is things I've heard from other people and never experienced myself. And because I can't use fake names. I've tried to tell the story using fake names, and it's just my brain can't work that way. So this is all fake stories about people that I know.
Yeah, this is some
it's all
John
fantasy.
Henry shit.
All right, so
This is some Pecos Bill stories just to inspire people.
yeah, this is a new Dead song about some railroaders. So I at the time when this happened, I was working third shift in a yard in Virginia at a coal pier, and I was a car inspector at the time. Basically, the loads would come in, they'd unload them onto a ship on a conveyor belt, they'd roll into a track, train crews, they'd build tracks for the outbound trains. So as a car inspector, what we'd do, we'd walk down the track, a couple hoses together, inspect them, you know, that kind of shit. So I was working with a guy named Don at the time, and Don, he had a side hustle going on where in the morning he'd do landscaping work. And he was making pretty good money doing it, but the problem with it for him was that he couldn't get sleep in any other time. So this was a graveyard shift. If Don ever got sleep, it was only on third shift. So he'd sleep on the job all the time. And he got busted for it a couple of times. Railroad's a real weird job. Pretty much management, their whole deal is they watch you and babysit you and try to prevent lawsuits, make sure people don't get injured. It's real odd. But so I was working third shift, and Don, you know, par for the course, he fell asleep. Wasn't answering on the radio when anyone was calling him. So the big man, the biggest boss of us, his name's Ray, he, you know, was going out to find this guy. He found him in the yard sleeping in a vehicle. Company policy was that you can't bust anyone unless you have a witness. It was just, you know, there's a lot of lawsuits. It's a good union job. Everyone, a lot of solidarity. And, you know, so he calls up my boss, JJ, calls him up to come to be a witness. And JJ, he came up in the ranks, you know, as a union man. He, you know, he takes Ray's call. It's like 4 a.m. and says, all right, sure, yeah, I'll meet you there. I'll go up there and be a witness or whatever. he gets off the phone half awake and uses the company phone to call the local chairman of the union to call Don to wake him up before he gets there to be a witness. And, basically, Don's phone rings. He wakes up. Ray never gets to bust him like he wanted to. They did the math and put two and two together, and JJ ended up getting his ass fired. 28 years on the job.
Whoa.
Damn.
But,
that sucks. I knew a few
yeah.
people that lost their job 20, 30 years in. That sucks.
Yeah.
For sleeping.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, there's a good ending to it. He, he had a lawsuit and ended up winning it and all that. So.
Yay! Yay! Yeah. Congratulations.
That fucking rocks.
Pop the champagne.
Yeah, really. Yeah, but, just, there's some good bosses out there. Like, it's the same thing. There's some good cops out there, but they don't remain cops for very long. Same thing with real good bosses, too. He had 28 years, but, he got his ass fired for covering for him.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it, actually. There's some good cops out there, but they don't remain that way for very long. They get run out. And but good bosses like me, like we're forever though. We're sterling.
Yeah, that's good. You are a good boss.
Thanks for calling in and sharing. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. It was a good story.
All right, have a good one, guys.
Yeah. Oh, the itch. I gotta take another Benadryl.
You're itching?
I'm just dying over here.
Fingers are itching. They're itching for that pizza.
And food. I got
pizza
food
over here.
I'm gonna take this food home.
Couple
and
more to
eat
go.
it.
Gumball is trying to heckin' messed up our recording.
Gumball, what are you heckin' doing?
Thanks for calling
You
Street Fight.
heckin'
Who are we
cat.
talking to tonight? A skeleton?
Hello?
From the
Nope, not a skeleton. Hey, what's up?
Hello?
Who's this?
Me?
Yep.
Yeah, you would know.
You're here. Hello.
Hi, is this me?
It's you. Yep.
Oh, hi! Oh my gosh, I can't believe I got on you guys.
Yeah, you're on the
Make
air.
this fast because I know you're at the end.
Yeah, I'm itchy. Go ahead.
We made it to Columbus. Oh, wow. But
Oh no, you're cutting out.
Yeah, it's
We
in and
lost
out.
you. You waited on hold and your phone cut out. Are you here?
Hi, can you hear me now?
We can hear you now. Yes, but we missed everything
Okay,
else.
okay, Okay, well, first of all, I want to talk about that we're trying to keep, is it cut out again?
No, you're here.
you're great.
You're here. We can hear you.
Oh, okay. Okay. So our Cass County, Indiana is trying to keep a WSP plant from being built here that is going to spread lead and mercury all over the place.
Okay.
Okay, smart. Smart to oppose something like that.
Yeah, our county commissioner, he zoned the area that's supposed to be for agribusiness to be heavy industry, and they're going to ship in like coal dust or steel manufacturing dust to recycle zinc, but it puts out lead and mercury. And Muncie, Indiana already got this thing ended, but they are violating lawsuits and they've got buildings going up.
Okay.
So, to help in the fight, I am running for county council at large.
Hell yeah.
Emily for Cass County. Our main thing is no to WSP. We don't need that sort of heavy industry here. Get them out. Screw them. Wabash is far more important, the Wabash River.
Yeah.
But also, we need to circle the wagons for taking care of ourselves because there's potentially a 30% county budget cut coming because of the COVID, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, okay.
So my main platform is community gardening, co-op, getting homesteading to a place where we can feed our people without the need of outside sources. Since
everyone's learning what supply chains are like with just the slightest hiccup.
Yeah, absolutely. It has homesteading's
Yeah.
cool. I want to do that.
Have you been to a Street Fight variety show
Yeah.
before?
Yes, we went to the one at Ruby Tuesdays. You guys had the Trillbillies,
Yeah.
Tom and Terrence.
You're quite the baker,
And,
right?
Oh yeah, you got my wife.
How was they?
My
Wonderful,
wife.
yeah. Yeah.
My wife went for a ride. She was like,
Like I
"Whoa!"
said, I'm a pastry chef. I'm a pastry chef, not a farmer.
Yeah. Well, it's impossible to know how much you're putting in them anyway, and you might as well shoot for strong as possible, I guess. If you,
Right, because I'm.
Yeah, if you want to control your dosage, you got a dispensary. You gotta go through the hoops,
Yeah.
Because everybody else
I gotta mention again.
Go
I
ahead.
have to mention again, Indiana. We are that,
Oh yeah, everything's
I don't know
illegal
what's
there.
wrong. Yeah, it's still. I don't know why we've surrounded ourselves with cool people, and yet we're the stuck-up nerds.
If you can get to
Wow.
Michigan's pretty easy to get dispensary stuff. I don't know how close you are to Michigan, but I went there for a while before I got my medical card. I would just go up there and grab some stuff and bring it home. Just some advice.
Right. Well, we have family very close to Illinois, so he just hops the border over there, and he helps provide.
Yeah. I'm looking it up for you real quick.
Yeah.
I'm looking to see if it's coming. Indiana medical marijuana 2020. What you got? Okay.
They've all, like, the mayor of Pendleton's already said that he will not allow it, and there's just this weird, like, 1950s deal. My husband always said he lived in, like, Gary and Cleveland and New York, and he's like, he had to come to Logansport to see some weird-ass shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it is weird.
So,
but if they legalize it in the state, then, you can just go out of town and grab it. I'm looking. There isn't anything there, though. God, they're brutal in Indiana, too.
Yeah, Indiana's tough.
Possession of even a single joint is punishable by up to a year of incarceration and a fine of up to $5,000. Yeesh.
right? But we do have growing CBD. That's legal.
Yeah, they did. That's
And
it's
I'm like,
showing.
dude.
Finally.
Yeah, right. It's like hemp's way better as ground cover. We can prevent erosion way better with hemp.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
But,
where can people find out
but
more?
yeah, so I'm trying to. So I kind of chose you guys as kind of my official campaign launch. I do have a Facebook page, Emily First Cass County. It's got one post.
You gotta start
at this
somewhere.
point, it's like fundraising.
Yeah, send us
as
the
much as anything.
send us the info. Yeah, we'll get some support
Right.
behind your campaign.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, and I'd also like to give you guys the link to the legal fund. Like I said, we have 2 to 3 lawsuits pending against these guys, and they're still building and putting out foundation. And it's like, are we going to have to handcuff ourselves to some bulldozers here
Yeah.
to slow this down enough?
Yeah, it gets there eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Right. Like I said, Muncie, with the help of Ball State, was able to keep it out. But for Eric Holcomb, the governor, this company's owned by a major donor of his that they just renamed a part of the highway for down on, I think, I-70 near Indianapolis. It's like,
Yeah.
yay, screwed. But, oh, man, what else? Because I tried calling you last week, but I think you're on vacation.
yeah, we were out.
Internet was out last
His
week.
internet was out, so we weren't
Right.
able to answer.
Oh.
Yeah. But we'll definitely send some support
Happened a
your
lot
way.
lately.
Yeah, we got a couple more people in here, and Brian is
All right.
slowly fading.
I'm faded.
Right.
I'm on so
Also,
much Benadryl.
Hydrocortisone cream, Brian, for the itch now, and switch to a glycerin soap.
Okay. Well, I'm good on the soap. I got just the old shit I was using before, but I'm gonna probably I'm gonna cover my entire body in hydrocortisone cream when I leave here.
Good idea.
Yeah, I feel great.
Good idea.
I'm just gonna grease up.
All right.
All right. Thanks for calling in.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah, that's what you need.
Yeah, I'm gonna put some on maybe when I get home.
We got this one and then a jump in.
You gotta jump in.
There was a jump in.
A jump in making me work sick. Let's get it. Let's do these. Get out of here.
Jump in. I actually kicked the jump in out and they called back, so they seem determined.
Oh, miserable.
Thank you for calling Street Fight. Who we talking to tonight?
This is Jackie Daytona.
What's
Oh,
up,
great
Jackie?
name.
How's it going?
Hey, I've been having as I imagine everyone else has, a pretty rough year, financially, personally, professionally. Everything's just kind of gone to shit. But I wanted to give you guys and of course all the listeners an uplifting story of solidarity, because sometimes you need to wrap it up with a feel good story that isn't too saccharine.
Yeah.
So I've been pretty fucked for money, as many of us are. And I got a call from a friend of mine, a fellow teacher, last night, and she said, "Hey, I've got good news for you." And at first I thought, "Oh, good, she's got a job opening at her school." But she said a mutual friend of ours from high school, who I have not kept in contact with, but she has, posted on their wall that they were in a position to help a friend with their rent. And would someone please nominate someone to be the recipient of said funds?
Oh.
And my friend immediately messaged this third party and said, "Oh, Jackie Daytona, who you may remember from high school, is in kind of a bad place, and they would absolutely, be open to receiving help."
Yeah.
And so this third party, who I haven't heard from since high school, which was about 1 million years ago, just paid my August rent for no reason.
That is great. Yeah,
no reason.
Yeah, well, they were helping.
They wanted to help someone, and they helped someone. I sent them a thank you, and we communicated a bit, and I'm going to send them a thank you card and so forth. But people do help each other, and we do need to help each other, because that's the only way that we can survive. And it's, it's put kind of a new spin of hope, certainly into my weekend and maybe into the rest of my year.
Absolutely,
so I wanted to give you guys that.
Yeah, getting your rent paid.
That happy story.
Getting your rent paid is a game changer, really. If you can get on the other side. Yeah, it can fix everything, really.
Yeah. Well, and also, I mean, when you're in a position to help, I mean, it just becomes easy to do, and I've certainly benefited. And I don't like to say the stuff that I do, but I joined this mutual aid group that popped up in March in my neighborhood, and they will just send me a text message and be like, "This single mom that goes to OSU doesn't have enough money for rent. Can you help out?" And I've been able to do stuff like that. And it's like, I mean, I have it right now and I can make more. And I'm in a position where I know that I can generate more money when it comes to things like that. So, it is like what I felt at the beginning of the George Floyd protests was just that everybody out there is in it for each other. And the outpouring of the money is not going to be the issue, the money is there for us to provide for each other, and we're spreading it around. We have all the good-hearted, feel-good nature. People are willing to stand up for each other. It's just that the controlling powers, the government, the people in charge are the ones that are benefiting the most off of us, you know, and it's not
Exactly.
off of our division, off of our spite, off of not taking care, like off of, you know, all of that individualism that they pitch us on. It's more expensive and more aggravating. I did a Facebook post this week about how, like, I pay almost $800 a month my family pays for health insurance. And I can't imagine that if I threw $800 into a pot along with everybody else in America that needs health insurance for Medicare for all, that it would cost any more than that. Like they take so much.
Oh, it couldn't possibly.
No, it would be stupid if it cost that much. It only costs that much because we have to pay how many people down the line, and we have to pay bonuses, and we have to pay for people to profit off of care. But like it's really the will to do all of this is there, and everybody, I think through this, I'm with you in that through this, the protests for the liberation of Black lives, through COVID, I've seen a lot of people step up to try and provide and help any way they can. And, you know, that's what makes me feel hope for the future, is that I know that we got us. Like, the people here, like, I don't know what the fuck America is up to, but what I've seen from my neighbors and what I've seen from Columbus, I'm completely okay with. Like, making it by with these people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Whenever people say, and they do, when I have conversations with you know, liberals or friends or just, you know, people who are maybe not you know, as left as most of us are, the argument that people will put forward will be human nature. They're like, well, you know, I mean, I guess communism may look nice on paper, but it doesn't work because of human nature. And I'm just here to say that I have empirical proof, not just this one event from the weekend, but empirical proof from, you know, my years on this planet, that simply isn't true, that human beings will look out for one another, whether or not they have anything to gain. People will love because that is what is in our nature to do.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's been shut down. I like raising a child, that it's so hard to raise a kid because all of the content, all of the stories revolve around the goodness of people and sharing and community. And then we're thrown into this world that's like all kill or be killed capitalism. And it's completely doesn't align with the values that I was raised on, you know, like
Yep,
my
you got it.
Yeah, my family, my mom is probably, you know, very staunchly capitalist and Republican and all those things. But at the same time, you know, she also showed up to class when I would stick up for people that were getting picked on, or that, you know, I've always been an underdog person. And she raised me on that kind of stuff. And it wasn't political or ideological. It was just a matter of caring for everybody, regardless of their story. And I took it to heart. I didn't like turn it into a means testing thing. Like, I really believed it, that we have to all look out for each other and it benefits us all. So yeah, it's hard because, you know, going into, I'm not there yet, but going into being 40 and being a truly grown adult person that now has a mortgage and a child, and like, I've earned my way into this conversation, and I now have the right to say that everybody should have what I have. You know, I feel like I have a seat at the table with the elders to say that every fucking black family deserves reparations, and those neighborhoods deserve to be rebuilt, and they deserve everything that we have. Like, and there's enough money to do it. They're like, we can take away from the Jeff Bezoses of the world and have a world of plenty for everyone. And I tell you what, we don't have a big enough appetite for anything. All we want to do is not be doing a job. We want food and a house and not be doing a job. We want to hang with our friends and family. And that's what it is. Like, and I don't know how we break through the narrative and achieve peace, but like, that's how I feel. Sorry, I just got on a diatribe.
No, hey.
I'm going to let you guys go so that if you need to take another caller, you certainly may. But I wanted to leave you and all the listeners with, you know, a little hope. And, you know, love really is the more powerful force.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, thanks for
Good night,
calling.
guys.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, There's
Love you.
Peace. Have a good one. Jackie Daytona, the fucking greatest
Peace.
name. I'm jealous. I'm Brett Payne, and I'm jealous of Jackie Daytona, just to let you know.
It is a good. You guys,
Fucking
you're a couple
beautiful,
of good names.
Wonderful, powerful, strong name. Also, diligently waited on the line 50 minutes, unlike this fucking jump in that we've got here. But this is the last call to end them all. We won't treat you differently because you're all our callers. So let's get this
You're
over
like
with.
all our children who we love.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, this is Colin from Arcata, California, in the north coast of California.
What's up, Colin? How you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I'm running for city council as a leftist in a very small college town up here.
Sweet.
And
go ahead.
I'm running on a explicitly left wing agenda in a small college town of about 18,000 people that has seen a lot of problems in the last few years regarding to economic, austerity and so forth. And I kind of put out a little sort of like bid to see if people wanted to vote for me, and I got a lot of overwhelming support over the last week saying that, yeah, we want to kind of change things. And it's a town that's essentially run by people who rent out units to college students and the working poor, and it's sort of like a town that's sort of like owned by sort of like an established group of people who kind of bought property here in the last 40 years. So it's like it's a bit of an uphill battle in terms of like trying to get some sort of like economic equity here.
Yeah. What? I
mean, it makes sense.
Where can people find you and stuff so that they can? Do you have a site or anything like that?
Well, so before COVID, I was a culture writer for the local like weekly paper. I wrote about like live music and shit, and I wrote it with like a weekly. It was the North Coast Journal was the name of the publication, and I wrote about it with sort of like a explicitly like left wing agenda to it. Which and so you can find me there, or you could find me at ColinEdgarYeo@gmail.com, ColinEdgarYeo@gmail.com.
How many votes do you
And I'm
think you're
also
going to
on-
need to? How many votes do you think you're going to need to win this? Like, what does an election look like there?
An election here, it's a very small kind of bedroom community. So basically, I just have to get. So there are 5 positions open for city council. 3 are open in this particular election. One of them was vacated by someone who had to leave so that they could get their retirement for another position. 2 are incumbents who are older people. I got to get at least 1,000 people voting for me in a town of 18,000. So
Oh, okay.
I think I can. Yeah, I think I can do it. But it's it's the town I grew up in. I went and lived elsewhere for most of my adult life. I've come back, in my 30s.
You got a great
and
story.
It really is just. It's one of those things where it's kind of like a weird labor of love. I lived in New Orleans for most of my adult life. I lived there through Katrina, and I kind of saw what like disaster capitalism did to that town.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid that like in the wake of COVID, that's going to happen to Arcata here, with sort of like a lot of outside money coming in, because it is a very picturesque town. It's a very nice place. It's very pretty, and it's a place where you can imagine people from like LA and elsewhere wanting to buy second homes.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of working poor up here. There's a lot of Native American people up here. Arcata itself is a Yurok name from the local tribe up here. So it's like it has a history to it that sort of needs to be working poor up here who are kind of on the outside of things. It's in Humboldt County, California, which is where all of the weed was made for like the last 40 years. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Man.
It's like the heart of weed land, right? But like we're trying to like figure out what we do with our future after, weed largely becomes legal elsewhere and here and abroad.
Yeah.
And so, we have dispensaries and shit, but it's like, what do we do with the future? What do the kids who live here do if they want to stay in the community?
Yeah.
So these are things,
Oh, absolutely. I'm looking at pictures. It looks like a very beautiful place.
It is, and you know, a big part of like I've spent all last week just like, and this has been really crazy because of COVID. You know, we just got put up to the top from the second from the top highest risk zone because of our new outbreaks we've had. So I've been walking around in like, you know, socially isolating, you know, with the mask on and everything, but trying to talk to constituents, you know, like outdoors.
Yeah.
You can't really shake hands, but you talk to people. You know what I mean? People have approached me. They want to talk about their issues. And they're really interested in rent control and rent reduction here. And they're interested in defunding the police department because we have a police department which is, you know, mostly locally sourced. And the people who are like, you know, it is like not outsiders doing it, but for a town of 18,000, our police budget is like $6 million last year.
Jesus.
Which is really fucking high for like 18,000 people.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so we're trying to find ways, you know, a lot of what's on everyone's mind right now is like, how can we cut the rent down? How can we pass a like citywide rent control under COVID? And how can we like make some of the programs around here be not centered around simply arresting people for like intoxication in public and so forth? How can we translate it more to social programs for people who have mental health issues or people who have issues with substance abuse problems and so forth?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's a unique thing. I'm mostly just a freelance writer and a carpenter. I don't really have a lot of experience in the political world, but I just this year felt like I had to step up and run because I kind of felt like there's sort of like a zeitgeist in the air, and we just have to kind of do that in our own communities, you know, and like try to make things better for ourselves and the people around us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I just wanted to call in. I'm a huge fan of you guys, and it's great what you do here. And I got a friend who's from Columbus, Ohio, and she tells me that you guys are legit. You know, you care about the community there and so forth. And she kind of put me on. She put me on the radar for your show and all that sort of stuff, and she said that you guys are really good. So
yeah,
nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for your story. I mean,
good luck.
I mean, you should go for it. I mean, you have the authenticity. Like earlier, what I was talking about, like I've earned my place as like a full-grown adult at this point. I can speak up and say things, and if you're from there, you definitely have you have a stake in what happens. Like you're not faking it. You're not outside influence. Like you have love for the community and you are thinking about things. And, you know, I think that's where the world is going. I think you can find a lot of support if you work it right. There is certainly a way that I bet you can get 1,000 votes or a couple more very easily running on that kind of a platform. So I wish you the best of luck, and please let us know however we can help.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I am reaching out to my constituents. My email address is CollinEdgarYeo@gmail.com, CollinEdgarYeo@gmail.com. I'm setting up some sort of a fundraising apparatus. It's difficult in COVID. And the last thing I want to mention is we did have a murder here in our town that was racially motivated in the last few years. It was a young gentleman, a black gentleman who was from out of town who was going to our university, Humboldt State University, and he was stabbed to death during a party, and the police did not respond to it well, and his murderer is still at large. And so it's sort of like the thing that's looming over our town. His name is Josiah Lawson, and so justice for Josiah is like a big deal here too. And so one of the things I'm running on is trying to find a way to get that more recognition for that and get that sort of thing, because we have a racially charged history here, and we really need to move past that, and we need to fix and repair that damage that we've done in the past. And this is a very recent stain upon our town. So it's definitely something that's on the forefront of any forward-thinking person's mind, and the person who cares about justice and so forth in their mind. So if anyone has time to look at justice for Josiah Lawson or look to his mother, Charmaine Lawson. She is still raising money to try to get his case, dealt with in a correct way, that it's outside of what the local police and DA have done. That's something that I think maybe people outside could donate to or look into.
Okay.
And 'cause it is definitely a slur upon our community.
Yeah, send us any info. We'll try to pass it along, help you out.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I love your heart and where it's at, and keep fighting it. There's no reason not to give him hell and to do the right thing. So we appreciate it.
Great. Thank you both. Fucking rock on. I really appreciate it. And thank you both for doing what you do.
Oh,
Peace.
thank you.
All right, you ready to go? Yeah. I think the live stream is shut down. It's back maybe for a couple minutes.
Well, we're done.
Yeah, we're done, Zoe. That was Street Fight Radio, the call-in show. I hope you enjoyed it. You can listen as a podcast to get the whole thing. Wednesdays and Sundays, we do the recording. Watch it on a live stream. Otherwise, just subscribe as a podcast. It'll come to your Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, whatever it may be. We will see you again on Wednesday. We're Street Fight. Peace. I gotta piss so fucking bad. I'm gonna pee myself all over my balls. Oh, I'm gonna go smoke before I leave, and then I gotta shut it. And then I'm pizza. Oh, God.